Hey guys, so quick update before we get into today's stream. I wasn't able to stream for a few days because of some IRL stuff, but then I actually did try to do like a 30 or 40 minute stream yesterday, and I actually did the entirety of chapter 8, and then my power went out and it didn't save the VOD correctly or the recording or anything like that. So unfortunately, I don't have that footage, so I figured I'd just give like a quick synopsis of what happened. So the chapter started out with Dimitri noting that we had two main conflicts that he had to deal with. The first was the Western Rebellion with kind of the Western lords that Cornelia had gone to seek refuge with. And then the second was obviously the Empire's threat. Unfortunately, I guessed wrong. I knew it probably wouldn't affect the story, but he asked us, which do you think we should deal with? And I was like, oh, obviously the Empire, right? Yeah, no, I was incorrect. So we went and dealt with the Western Lords and Cornelia, which actually included Annette's uncle, who did turn to our side. But basically, we just had a quick battle where I didn't actually think Cornelia was going to die there, but after we defeated her in the Western Lords, she did, basically as she was like injured, she didn't teleport away again as I thought, and Dimitri basically questioned her about his stepmother, as well as who's also Edelgard's mother, and Cornelia actually really heavily implied that Edelgard had something to do with it, if not being like the direct cause for her death. We found out that Cornelia was apparently once called a saint for some of her previous contributions to Fodlan for like curing, I think it was like a pandemic or something like that. Just kind of crazy because it really put the thought in all of our heads, like, was she actually a good person at once, or was it a case like Solon where she was maybe just trying to infiltrate, gain some like influence across, Fodland way before? Just really, really crazy. Kind of honestly just scary when you think about those who slither in the dark and how long they've had influence in it. I knew that Cornelia wasn't going to last until Endgame because, okay, I thought I accidentally started a cutscene. So I knew Cornelia wasn't going to reach to Endgame because even though it wasn't really mentioned at all in Golden Wildfire, in Scarlet Blaze it was briefly mentioned that, like, the kingdom had taken care of her, something like that, when we went to one of her, I think it was like her research areas or something like that. Just really interesting stuff. I'm really sad I don't have the footage just because Cornelia was basically like the primary antagonist for, that first chunk of the game on this path. The kingdom path really does seem to have a lot of, like that's half the path or so far that really dealt with internal conflict within the kingdom. So just interesting. Again, really sorry that I lost that footage. I'm sure there's, tons of people who posted footage on that actual chapter itself. But like I said, just wanted to give a quick summary of what happened. We literally didn't do anything else. No support conversations, no parrot logs. Because I realized, like, oh, my power now, is part of life. But anyways, I figured we'd just hop straight back into it. We're just heading right back into the battle with the Empire at this point. Part of the reason that we chose to, well, that Dimitri chose to deal with the rebellion in the West as well was not only the fact that it was an internal conflict versus external, but also that supposedly, and you can see right here in the chapter list, it's Saving of the Silver Maiden, they are laying siege to one of the more defensible positions where the Knights of Saros were also largely there. I think Seteth is there at the very least. Flame appeared to be with us. So, just interesting stuff. We're going to help them out. I don't know how much more we'll deal with those who slither in the dark. I do think that the end of the paths do seem to be generally the same from what I've seen so far, but at the same time, I have no idea. Just interesting stuff. Because in the other two paths, the final boss was either Rhea, as it was in Golden Wildfire, or it was Rhea and I believe it was Talus was the name. Another member of those who slither in the dark as like a dual boss, where the two kind of ended up taking each other out at the end in Scarlet Blaze. And so just knowing that we're so closely linked with the Knights of Saros, that we're so closely linked to Rhea with this Kingdom Path, it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. I am curious though, what's this paralog? Rhea relates a tale describing a sacred artifact said to have been locked away centuries ago. Hearing this, the most loyal members of the church make ready to retrieve it. Interesting. I do probably think I'll just do a bunch of these paralogs toward the end. Obviously, the Gatekeeper one, that being level 80, needs to be done near the end of the path. But these other ones here, you get basically, sometimes it's a weapon, but it's usually just a battalion, and I really just haven't worried about battalions. I'm sure that could be biting me a little bit, but in New Game Plus, we're so strong that nothing has actually been an issue. So I'm really not too concerned about it. As always, we're just going to keep skipping the stages. If we need to go back for other, resources. Obviously, the S rank awards haven't been an issue in New Game Plus if we're missing out on them, and I can go back and do some of them. But I'm just going straight for the story stage. The exception will probably be Chapter 10. We'll full clear that because I'm assuming that's when we have to recruit Byleth and Jeralt again.
Orion-Road's defensive capabilities
Oh, is that Yuri? Huh.
Do you still doubt me, Your Majesty?
I didn't think that we had Yuri as of this point in the story.
Delicious little tip about
So,
the secret passage.
just interesting. Well, it's just weird because the members of the Ashen Wolves have been recruitable on every single path, which I think makes a lot of sense given that they were like the DLC house. They didn't stand alone with any of the 3 factions. But generally speaking... Oh no, this is the Empire. I'm an idiot, sorry. I was just thinking, generally speaking, Yuri has been recruited on the same stage as Byleth and Jeralt in both of the other 2 paths, so I wasn't anticipating on seeing Yuri until Chapter 10. But at the same time, I'm trying to think of where everyone was. Because... I was under the impression that at the start, Balthus was kind of doing his own thing, but all 3 of the others, Constance, Happy, and Yuri, were somewhere within the Empire. So this is just interesting. I don't know if... I'm trying to remember if that was actually the case, but I'm curious.
No, but the Count did.
No, I just got confused for a second. I was like, wait, did we have Yuri? This is definitely the Empire, though. We're obviously with the Kingdom. I'm just being dumb.
I cannot overstate what a boon it is to have members of House Row aiding us during our siege of the Silver Maiden.
Having an insider's got to be helpful.
Though it's truly a shame we could not stop the Kingdom from reclaiming your territory.
The fault is mine. Such stumbles would never have occurred had I not faltered on the Leicester front.
Okay, so that makes me wonder, though. So when we are on the Alliance path in Golden Wildfire... Sorry to pause it again. I know I take a while, but I'm really enjoying... Like, my favorite part, obviously, the gameplay is fun. But in these other New Game Plus paths, I'm really enjoying seeing the parallels between these paths. It's interesting because that does make me think that maybe Ladislava did have to sacrifice herself to get Ferdinand and Bernadetta... Well, Bernadetta's with us, isn't she? Out of the pincer attack in the Alliance. Because when we were in Golden Wildfire, that's where we recruited Bernadetta. Ferdinand got away, and Ladislava sacrificed herself for him to get away. But when we were in Scarlet Blaze with the Empire, because they were already with us at that time, it was actually Kaspar's father who was in that pincer attack, and we had to go bail him out. So it makes me think that in this Kingdom path, maybe it was Ferdinand. Makes me wonder if we'll even see Ladislava in this path. And again, Bernadette is already with us as of right now, so I can't imagine that she was there either. But just since she does mention, you know, he stumbled on the Leicester front. Just interesting stuff. Obviously, to some extent, they have to slightly alter things, even if they're virtually the same thing, based on what characters you have with you.
We cannot let this opportunity pass us by.
Indeed. Hubert would never let us hear the end of it, were we to overlook this chance.
Okay, so Hubert's on the Alliance front.
Finds himself busy with the Alliance for now.
Your Majesty, we've received word that the Knights of Ceros have been dispatched to Orion Road.
Maybe we do. I'm still like really, I don't know why, I just really hope that Catherine's playable at least for one path. But if she is at this point, it's literally for like less than half of a path, you know? Kind of sad actually. Because Shamira's playable in both the other paths. I guess to be fair, Seth and Flane were only in this path, but they're from pretty early on.
Yuri, this is why your actions will be so vitally important to our effort.
Interesting.
Yes, Your Majesty. Preparations are already complete. Follow me. I will escort you to the passageway.
Man, Gwendol just seems to be loyal to Count Rowe. But Count Rowe's such like a turncoat character. It's kind of sad. No matter what path it feels like it's on, you're just seeing him flip back and forth.
This battle shall be the prime occasion to atone for my mistakes.
I promise you it won't, Ferdinand. We have plot armor.
Man you are. Never flagging in your duty to that wretched Count.
Jeez.
I suppose House Rowe must want its territory back quite badly.
Oh.
Considering the fortune they were willing to pay me.
I see you've not lost that insolent mouth of yours. You should have refused the offer if you found it distasteful.
It's just sad that Gwendol couldn't have been for like a more... I don't know if I would say loyal, but just like a more, I don't know, honorable lord than Count Rowe.
I've never liked the thought of owing him a favor. This will finally settle our account.
Yuri.
What is it, old man? Spit it out.
He's getting more character development here than I felt like he did in other paths. In the other 2 paths, it kind of felt like Yuri just appeared on the Byleth Jeralt fight.
Find a suitable place to breathe your last.
Okay. Just interesting. I do like, though, that since the Ashen Wolves are DLC characters that actually weren't in the game when I did my original playthrough, and then I went back through, obviously, and recruited them and did their extra story and such. But it's kind of cool to see. I don't know if it really matters here. It's just kind of cool to see them be implemented in the story. Because, again, they were kind of in that group of characters that could be recruitable no matter what the path. I'm also slowly starting to think we don't get Lysithea in this path. Just because we really haven't interacted with the Golden Deer, like, at all. I mean, you have to consider we have, like, almost nobody from other paths. Yeah, now I'm looking at it. Let's see. So, Gatekeeper, these are Sedith and Flynn are only in this path. Happy's Ashen Wolves, Petra, Dorothea, and Bernadette are from the Empire. Kingdom. Yeah, we literally don't have anyone from the Alliance yet, actually, now that I'm looking at it. That's kind of crazy. But again, I had kind of seen that coming a bit, just that there might be a few less characters from other nations, just because, again, we had Ash in all three paths, and we had Mercedes in the Empire path, and that was pretty much it, to my knowledge, out of this the basic house of the kingdom, you know? So, just interesting. Stuff to keep in mind, but... Oh, what's this? Increase? Ah, well, as always, I'll probably just use... Like, these extra resources are always nice, don't get me wrong. They just don't make a huge difference to me. It's one of those, if I was min-maxing, trying to do the maximum amount of stuff every single run, sure. But, like, now that we maxed out all our facilities and stuff, it's not a huge issue. And if I really want some of these rewards, I can just go back. But, like, a Woe Dao won't be useful for us. Bullion's gold is nice, but I can farm that, you know, stuff like that off-stream. And I am trying to slowly get this last path done, because Xenoblade 3 does release on the 29th. I want to get just into full-on stream in that game once it comes out. I'm so excited for it, so... I've literally not looked at any spoilers, but anyways... Let's just hop in. Wasted some training points there. As always, you get like 1 or 2 training, or like chore points as you go. But... And it's unfortunate too. I would have gone back and played through the entire chapter again had I realized that, you know, such would happen. But unfortunately, it wasn't really an option because you save after pretty much every battle and everything, but...
Bring your company over to the western wall.
Yeah, they're there. Nice.
I'll defend the interior myself.
Yes, Lady Catherine.
But this was supposedly a pretty defensible position, and that's why we went to deal with the Western Rebellion first. Oh, Shamir?
I could say the same of you.
Shamir was not a member of the Knights, so we recruited her on the Empire path when she and Catherine invaded to try and assassinate Edelgard, which obviously failed. And then on the Alliance path, she was basically with us from, I think it was like chapter 4, like right after time skip. So she's not a member of the Knights again, it seems like, in this path, but it does seem like in all the paths except Golden Wildfire, she does initially kind of show up with them, which is interesting.
It's been, what, 2 years now since
Yeah,
you left
okay,
the
well,
Knights?
immediately afterwards.
You picked some time for a reunion.
The kingdom called and I answered. That's it. Besides...
Interesting.
What? If you got words
Ferdinand's
for me,
brother.
then spit 'em out.
Words, huh? You know, I wasn't sure what to expect when I heard there was an ex-bandit playing general over here.
That is fair.
But your orders are precise, and you have some serious tactical know-how. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were a trained leader.
Sometimes even bandits have great commanders. Not often, but
That's fair.
I've seen it happen.
I mean, to lead anything, you know, you can be just a bad leader, but in theory, you gotta have some skills. And he was a member of a noble house to some extent.
The House Gautier, then.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about you when I was a kid myself. I'd always hoped to spar with you one day. Never thought you'd end up disowned.
Ah,
Cram it.
eh.
I'm the one who cut ties with that rotten house of mine.
You've done well to stay alive since.
Yeah, being a mercenary is...
Yeah.
Nope.
Because I've got a purpose now.
Oh.
I'm gonna show the world that if I act all proper, even a crestless loser like me can accomplish.
You know, in his own way, that's very similar to what everyone else is trying to do, though. Abolish the current system of nobility, get rid of, like, the reliance on crest users and such. It's kind of crazy.
Yet here you are, fighting in his army. And well, at that.
Yeah. Turns out the king's not the only weak-willed one around here.
It,
What they said to me? That
it's
I
tough.
wasn't going to be held back by crests anymore. That the only thing tying me down now was my own past mistakes.
okay. that's probably just almost salt in the wound for this guy at this point, but it's really got to be tough being born into a noble house without a crest. I can't imagine, you know. I don't know if that's what directly led to him being disowned. He says here, you know, just now that he left on his own accord. But ultimately, you know, it does seem like being the actual full-on heir to anything in Fotland requires you to have a crest, which is rough.
Now look at me.
Because it's just not a guarantee that you'll have one.
Squad full of crest bearers and none alike.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Ridiculous as it sounds, part of me's
Nice.
actually come to like it.
That's good.
Lady Catherine, our enemies are within the fortress, but all of the gates were sealed.
Okay.
This is Aryan Road we're talking about. There's probably more than a few hidden passageways we're not aware of in here.
The former lord of this fortress, Count Rowe, fell in battle, but I doubt he was the only one familiar with the secrets of its construction.
Then we'll have to
Yeah,
fight
it's
them
been
off
made
until
very clear that,
reinforcements
like,
arrive.
there's a lot of people who have information on, like,
Trespassers down in one
Kingdom
fell
Alliance,
swoop.
and Empire territory
We don't
that
even know how
probably...
many of them there are yet.
It would be better for everyone if they didn't.
Looks like I'm finally settling my bets.
Such a bleak outlook will only consign you and your soldiers to defeat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why you?
Interesting.
Forget it. Look, if you want to make it out of this alive, you'll listen close.
Okay.
A fortress like this has always got a secret passage. There's only a few places it could be.
Secret passages in Fire Emblem, you know,
The fight
scenarios
against
and such
Aryan
really
Road
do
in
seem to
the
be
walls.
pretty common. It's like everybody has
The
one.
enemy must have entered through some unknown route.
I'm glad they're already in. This means more chances to
It
show what I can
overshares.
do.
I appreciate your confidence.
Hmm.
Is everyone prepared? Today, we will deal a decisive blow not only to the vile Emperor, but to all of Adrestia. And I will be depending on each and every one of you to do it.
Yeah,
Now,
the
with me!
the fact that Edelgard's mother, though, is Dimitri's stepmother, really does kind of explain, I think, why so much of the time, despite the fact, and I think I talked about this in the footage I lost a bit, but I think it's really cool that 3 houses and 3 elves had 3 kind of major powers, because that allowed for a cool balance of power, and that, you know, Awakening had, first it was like, the Shepherds and Elis versus Plegia, then it was like Walhart and his nation, you know, obviously all of that stuff, Grima, everything there. Same thing with basically every other one. It was like your protagonist force versus an antagonistic force, and then just one after the other, or like you versus all of them. Whereas with 3 Hopes and 3 Houses, it really made that uneasy balance, that triangle of power that I think really suits it really well. I think they did a really good job with the world base, so it makes sense that they wanted to make another good game, you know, around it. Keep working with it, and I think 3 Houses was pretty well received. But I think that ultimately it did still fall onto, a lot of the time, if you're not on the Golden Deer's side, it does to me kind of feel like it becomes Kingdom versus Empire at some point. I think that this path so far has been somewhat guilty of that. We've had only a couple scenes, you know, really mentioning the members of the Alliance. The Empire path also, you know, they really tried to tie in the other 2 paths with Golden Wildfire and Scarlet Blaze to try and tie in that extra stuff with like the armistice between the 2 nations, them coming together, all that stuff. But really, it does feel to me like, once again, if you're not with Claude's house, they become a bit of like a third factor, which is rough, but I think it's kind of inevitable. But interesting. But anyway, time to hop into battle. Sorry, I keep going on random tangents, but it just, part of why I've been enjoying streaming, honestly, is I just enjoy saying what's on my mind, you know, with stuff like this. But yeah, okay. So persuade Shamir, persuade. Okay, we do need to base. Okay, that's awkward, because we need at least 40 points there, and we'll have to see what the other strategies are. But this is where we get Shamir and Yuri. I'm genuinely surprised that we get Yuri this early, just because, again, both of the other paths we have not gotten Yuri until the chapter in which we got Byleth and Jeralt. So kind of seeing that he's here a couple chapters early is interesting. I don't know if it's likely that I'll use him, but just interesting. Geez, maybe I'm not too worried about collecting supplies when they're full anymore. That was a big thing before, but again, not a huge issue. But I might go back to, I can't use a Vanguard vessel here. Let's see, we'll probably be missing one strategy, but I don't think it's super necessary to have all of them. I didn't see Persuade Catherine, which makes me wonder if she just joins automatically. I'd really hate to miss out. Let's do this mission. Sorry. I don't want to miss out on recruiting Catherine if it's possible. I kind of doubt it. She might just be a unit that automatically joins such and such. You never know. Let's just hop into this. Better safe than sorry. I'm not going to worry about an S rank. We just need to complete the stage. But 500 enemies, 7 minutes. Okay.
Let's earn our keep.
So that's Dorothea's, yeah. Do we have Dorothea's? I'm trying to remember who we've given the Merc Whistle to. So obviously it was Lysithea first path. That's the right trigger ability that's talking about here. Second path, I think we gave it to Shamir. So no, I don't think we've given it to Dorothea. If we can recruit Catherine in this path, which means we probably wouldn't be able to in general, I will probably give it to Dorothea this path. If not, maybe another time. It really just gives you the extra skill and then the dialogue, like a small like paragraph at the end. But I think I might play this game again on my own time, try some other stuff out. For example, I'm still curious. From what I've been able to tell, I mean, it says this outcome of the story will change drastically whether you know, kill Jeralt and recruit and fail to recruit Byleth, or if you recruit them. But I'm still not sure whether I'll take it, but I can't imagine it makes a huge difference based on what I've seen. You know, like the whole, like, the 3 leaders being sucked in together, all that stuff. It doesn't seem to me like stuff that would be largely affected by whether or not Byleth is alive. The big difference would obviously be, the scene wherein Byleth and Shez go off on their own and then Shez tries to kill Byleth. But I also feel like that could just be easily replaced by, like, you know, Byleth shows up looking for vengeance because we killed Jeralt. And then, you know, that's how the fight starts, you know? Rather than being an ally and Arvel possessing us, then they're just an outright enemy from the start. So, who knows? But, I don't know. Maybe I'll mention it on another stream sometime if I, like, were to play through it and find something drastically different. Or we could, you know, always just save and see. I'm a sucker for the better endings, and I've been really glad that Jeralt does live. So I'm not too interested in it. But, this is one of those games that I think I might, like, I don't know, like the old Warriors I played through again a couple times on my own time, stuff like that. It's just one of those games I might come back to someday and just mess around. But for now, on stream, I just wanted to do the 3 mid paths with the, hopefully, I'm assuming it's the happy ending wherein we save them, but we'll see. Guess that's yeah, this is a pretty fast stage. I don't know if we've defeated enough enemies here. It's always, well, okay, no, we have. I was gonna say, I'm not super concerned about S rank, but my thought process is if I'm gonna do a stage, we might as well get an S rank, you know? But if I don't, you know, it's just, yes. But where is the, I'm confused, was the enemy journal? Oh, there it is. Do this? Just in case. We went for quite a few stages though. Another thing I did kind of mention too during that chapter of the footage I lost was that chapter didn't have anyone to recruit. And again, contextual, it made sense. We were just subjugating the Western Lords and Cornelia. There wasn't really anybody there to be recruited. But I feel like the kingdom has had, like, we had a good few chapters, I want to say, where we didn't persuade anyone in terms of that, or like recruit a whole lot of people. But again, I think that stems from the kingdom's playable set of characters being pretty separated from some of the other paths, which is just interesting to me. I think parallels like that are really cool. And you can still play every other character in like the records hall and such. So once you recruit them once, that's one nice thing, as long as you're New Game Plus, obviously. I was really happy about that.
Greetings.
But maybe we should visit Anna. I wasn't even paying attention, honestly. I was just clicking. Extra magic on Shez is not a bad thing, though. Nope. I'm an idiot. I thought I pushed B. It's okay. I get to that point, I don't know if anyone else does, where I'm just mindlessly clicking and I'm like, ah. Turns out I'm dumb. Alright, let's see. One time, let me get it. Oh, but like I said, a lot of these resources I just won't be using. The cooking supplies are superfluous. Any building supplies are literally just tradable for smithing stones. That's the strategy we were missing. Supposed to be, like, a lot of these things are just, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but they're not super necessary. Let's head back to camp real quick. Today I'm hoping to get through at least chapter 11 or 12 because we are using the Vanguard whistles to skip through pretty much every stage that's not necessary. It makes it really easy to chunk through these. Like last time we didn't even do that long of a stream and we still got through, you know, 7 chapters, which is crazy because we were doing like 6-hour streams before. Like the first path, it was like 6-hour streams and we were only getting through 3 or 4. But that's the difference when you're not doing every single fight. While we're here, we might as well... Oh! And there's Xenoblade 3. Speak of the devil. If I remember correctly, Nintendo's pre-order system is they allow you to... like, they charge your account, and then they allow you to download it pre, so you can just play it on the day of release. 7 days before, and it is the 22nd. So, didn't even think about that. Cyril's here. Do I not have Cyril recruited on this path? Of course, yep.
Let's see.
Interesting. Do we have Sarah on this path? Sarah's just one of those characters I was never really invested in.
Care to make yourself useful?
No, we don't. Okay. I don't know why. It was one of those characters that... it just never really appealed to me.
We all must do our fair
But-
share to make yourself useful.
Who knows? This might again be one of the few paths where he doesn't kick the bucket at the end as well. Because like I said, we really are steering towards a path where it is genuinely hard for me to tell if we're going to be dealing
We all
with
must do our fair share.
Ray as the final boss, because we're so interlinked with a lot of the Knights of Saros on this path that I have a really hard time imagining that they'd turn on her with us. Which makes me wonder, will this be the path where, like, you know, Golden Wildfire was Ray at the end. Scarlet Blaze was Rhea plus a leader of those who slither in the dark. Will this path just be one from those who slither in the dark? Just interesting stuff. But now we can do, yep, so Persuade Shamir, Persuade Yuri. Let's see. So these are 2 of the ones that we got. Close off passages. Not super worried about the enemy's advance. Summon Sweeps, they will do that. And as always, I'm not super concerned about the units we use. It's really just Dimitri and Shez that we're using pretty handedly right now. We only have 3 controllable units. That's interesting. 2,000 enemies, 21 minutes. These story stages, like, usually have a pretty lengthy amount of time that you can go through. It goes back to the whole thought of if this was the first path, maybe it'd be an issue. But since it's not, it's not, you know? I mean, Dimitri, we instantly leveled up like 30 times, stuff like that. Just funny stuff, but... So we gotta get to the controls on both sides. Well, might as well order Dimitri to go to... Oops.
We will proceed as planned.
Go here. That's one thing that I've gotten really guilty of not doing, is ordering my units to kind of be efficient. Because I just take control of like Shez or someone and run over there. But in reality, it's kind of nice to be able to send those units there so you can switch right to them.
They've stationed units around the controls for the gate. We'll need to fight our way past them if we're to have any hope of opening it.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, aside from the full clear, that made our first playthrough. So like that skill right there, didn't switch my skills on like any character until like 3/4 of the way through the first path. One of those things that didn't really occur to me. But yeah, pretty helpful. Alright, so there's Shamir recruited. Shamir, if I remember correctly, was pretty leveled. No, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Let's take control of Mercedes because she can't heal, just in case. Aid and recruit Shamir. Surely this gate opens, right? I thought that's what we were opening. Come on, come on. Yeah, perfect. Let's go give her a hand. I really like Shamir.
Clear our way into the fortress.
It just, I don't know, it's just with every character practically in this game, and this world base being a noble of some kind,
Surprised you came for me.
or at least the vast majority,
Guess I should return the favor.
really make characters that aren't a little bit more down to earth, like Shamir, like Catherine, it made them appeal a lot more to me. Like Dorothy is another good example. Just, I don't know, maybe that's just me. But for me, that was kind of what drew me to some of these characters. Because you have to consider, and I've mentioned my 4 favorite characters being Shamir, Catherine, Lysithea, and Dorothea many times as we've been playing. I really think that, I mean, 3 of those 4 aren't nobles, funnily enough. But again, I think it's a real breath of fresh air when everyone is of something, you know, having a unit character that, I mean, doesn't necessarily do it in an obnoxious way. I forgot that my Mercedes was not that strong. I think I was just bringing her along for healing allied units when it became necessary. But where are... Okay. Hold up. This will take care of this. Don't let the messengers reach... Okay, we need to go stop those. I'm actually not going to worry about taking this stronghold. Wait, can Dimitri just run over? Dimitri's fast enough to get over those spikes before they even activate. Interesting. There's the messenger.
It's probably for the best that I don't go help him, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. We can't just, you know, abandon him because he's on our side, but Sylvain especially. There's obviously a lot of bad blood there. You know, the former heir, sorry, versus the current one. You know, especially with Miklon not being able to... Well, I always assumed it was because he didn't have a crest, but apparently he was the, you know, set to be the next leader of the house despite that, and then he said, like I said just now, that he chose not to of his own volition. Just interesting stuff. I did go the wrong way though. Let's see. I really love that the map's just up all the time on this, in these games though. Really helpful. Looks like it's this way. How do we... I'm confused. So we need to get through there. There was some kind of interactable there, but usually if there's an interactable there, it's with your... What? I'm surely missing something. Yeah, it's okay. We have plenty of time to figure it out. They give you more than ample enough time in these stages. I think literally the only potential issue is KOs, and that's if you rush through these stages. Yeah, we could just go around this time. I wonder... It looks like maybe we had to go through this side and then go just straight through across. Which explains why we weren't able to get through on that side. I think so. So if we can run just straight across here... Yeah, that seems to be the case. That's interesting. Because looking at the map, you really would think you could just go up the right side. But didn't appear to be the case from what I could tell. That or I just missed it. That's very possible. I know, my last VOD from, I think it was last Saturday, and then I posted it by, like, Sunday morning on YouTube. It might still be up on Twitch, too, actually. I literally didn't see one of those giant switches after I turned around, like, 3 times in a small small... What are they called? Fortress, whatever the small keeps are. Which was awkward. Just as awkward as it was stupid. Let's see. You really not open that, though.
I guess it really never hurts to ask.
Alright, well, I'm gonna send Shez out to this one. And then I'll take Dimitri as we do that and run down there. I'm trying to remember, though. I don't think Dimitri in his special class is actually a mounted unit. Which really does make me wonder, this way, you know, how that's gonna change up his moveset again. I think it's actually going to be similar to... I can't remember his first or second class. Because I think half of his classes so far have been mounted and then the other one wasn't. And then obviously the last one I don't believe is. So I wonder how much that's going to change his moveset. Because like right now he has the 2 bars underneath his A-charge bar in the bottom left. But I remember in one of the classes that was actually 2 spears. So just interesting. But unique classes are always really fun. It's why I like the Asura class for Shez so much. You know, I could reclass Shez to do all the masterclass and stuff, as you can, but same thing with like Enlighten 1 for Byleth. Just never really appealed to me. I think that they usually do a really good job with the special classes for big units like that, and so I just enjoy playing as them. But of the 3 lords so far, I didn't mind Edelgard's moveset. I really did enjoy Claude's. I do think I like Dimitri's moveset the most though, which is interesting because of the 3 houses in the original game, I would say the Kingdom was the one that I was attached to the least. But they also took a very different turn with Dimitri's character, to be fair. He didn't go insane. He's obviously still burdened by a lot of what goes on, but it's not the same thing. Oh.
What a joke. Still,
Oops.
True. I didn't
So I don't think that's gonna affect the story,
expect you to give me
but I feel a little bad about that one, actually. I'm going to do this again. Sorry to waste time, but I feel a little bit bad about that. Let's just do it again. I dilly-dallied for way too long. It was mostly, I think, when I was running in a big circle around it, trying to figure out how to get to those 2 inner gates. Now that we know, we should be able to do a lot faster. But real quick, now we know as well where everything's going. Wasted like probably 5-10 minutes there, which is unfortunate, but I really doubt Miquelon's playable. But if it's an allied unit and I don't have to let them die, let's not let them die, you know?
So they really did find a back way in. Seems like the main gate's still closed. Thankfully, the controls aren't too far off.
Okay. And in fact, what I might do is leave like Mercedes on one of these side forts, so that I can immediately have her go upwards.
We must assist her.
They station units around the controls for the gate. We'll need to
Oh,
find our way
there we go.
past them if we're
Was never gonna let Shamir die, but... Alright, so here's the plan. We go here. We order Shez to go... Oh my gosh.
Not a problem.
Does that every time. We order Shez to go... Sure, take on that Wyvern Rider. I'm gonna have Mercedes sit... Let's have her attack that. Just because we know after we take care of those inner gates... and she might move back once she defeats that enemy, because the characters seem to do that a lot in these games. Because I do have them set to attack, naturally, but then they literally just attack anything nearby. But the idea here is now that we've gotten these 2 gates open, Shez will be right outside the gate to go help Shamir. And then... I don't know, I'll let Dimitri do his own thing. It's nice knowing what's going to happen, though, eh? Does make things just a little bit easier. Practically like seeing the future. Reminds me of I don't remember which one it was, but I played one Valkyria Chronicles game once. And there was a stage where literally, like, you get surprise ambushed, and the first time, I feel like almost everybody failed that stage, and then the second time, you just set, like, 3 Lancer units right up behind where these extra tanks spawn. And you just sit there like, huh. It's funny. So there's the messenger. Yeah, it just makes it easier once we kind of know how to manage these units. We still only have 3 units though on the story stage, which makes me wonder, you know, does Shamir just become playable this stage? Does Yuri? Does, fingers crossed, Catherine? I'm still really hoping that that's the case. Alright, here we go. I could have changed off of Mercedes again, but knowing that we accidentally let Miquelon die, I was thinking also maybe having some kind of healer might be helpful. But she is not very strong. There we go, that ought to do it. Alright, so now we need to take care of those inner gates. We'll just have Shez do it, because she's right here.
Don't go help him, honestly. Perhaps, but we
Okay, I
can't
mentioned that last time.
abandon him either.
We kind of did abandon him last time, that's why we had to restart. Which is awkward. Alright, but if memory serves, we go... Can we... I'm so just annoyed that you... I wonder if that was a... maybe that was a strategy. We had our hands full with having to recruit, / persuade 2 people though, so... A little bit difficult. Makes you wonder where the controls are for that too.
There. No
We might actually take damage running through this on Shez though. Yeah, ooh, 200, huh? Not a big deal though. Ah, see, like they're already wandering up here. I'm gonna have them just guard these forts here. Because again, I know once we have these 2 middle forts, we're gonna have to take care of the 2 on the side. And again, I'm trying to do this efficiently so we don't accidentally let Miquelon die. Because he doesn't seem like the type of character that would be playable. But I also didn't think Roderigo was gonna be playable, so my goal is to, if nothing else, have every like playable character, you know? But, oh, I didn't hit the switch. I'm an idiot. Gotta run back. Right after I said let's not waste too much time. Oops. Alright, here we go. Well, I just want you to stay in that corner, but thank you.
That's one. But not good enough to beat me. Well,
It might be different if you had a crest.
Okay, Gwendol doesn't have crest either. He's still at like full health at this point. How did he lose so much health so fast? Did we really take that long? Like, I know we spent a good while because we went up to this corner here. That a ways. Because we thought we could just get in there, but still. Did not think it took that long.
I've awaited this moment.
Interesting. So that's the side doors open. Nice, nice. I don't know if we need to keep Shez generally in the center, but for now we'll take care of this part. My only concern again is since we're rushing so hard, yeah, we're not even halfway done on KOs.
The old man's here.
But
Guess it really never hurts to ask.
I would argue that the you know, main objective probably takes precedence. So let's steer Dimitri up this way. Have him just get like into the middle of some enemies. Because like I was saying, when you set them on attack, I think they literally just attack like the nearest thing when they're there. Which kind of makes sense, but it's funny.
You really don't hold anything back, do you? It's time I put you out of misery.
Oh,
What a joke. Still, at least
he was at full... Okay, so he does just die.
needed.
Interesting. That's a little bit sad, actually. That also means that we definitely wasted our time earlier.
I didn't expect you to give me that.
Because I was keeping an eye on his health there. I was like, I'm so surprised too. I was like, I didn't feel like we took that long. Apparently, he's just doomed to die. At least Gwendo shows him some respect.
Disowned him as my son, but I see no reason not to avenge.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely means we just wasted like 10 minutes, but that's okay. Like, I was so confused. I was looking at his health too just now, and I was like, he was at full health. What happened? I think it's similar to Randolph and Catherine in the Golden Wildfire Path, in that it probably doesn't matter how much health he actually has. They do just die because it's a plot point. So, that's interesting. Bit of a bummer, though. I'd kind of hoped to see, you know, as like, much as I didn't necessarily like Miquelon's character, he's one of those characters that I think it would have just been a feels-good moment to see him kind of reach redemption, you know? Because it at the end of the day, it's not his fault he was born without a crest, you know? But, alas, it would appear it was not meant to be. I do think it's really cool, though, that like, flying units, I'm assuming, can just fly over the spikes, but I think it's really cool that Dimitri can just run over those fast enough on cavalry that they just don't hit. Are there switches in all of these forts too?
From someone who looks like he's got one foot in the grave.
Big Gwendolyn and 8 Catherine. Are we able to get in there right now? Okay. These little scenes though, I feel like are a little bit unnecessary. Maybe not this one, if it's like an introduction for an actual story character, but I swear every other stage gives you like a quick introduction on like, it's just like, this is generic enemy number 3. You know? This makes me laugh a bit.
Sorry you had to come back me up. We managed. Thanks to you.
Yeah, there he goes. If Count Rose already... Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming he dies. Sorry, Gwendol. Gwendol really did seem like a decent knight, but he chose to serve the wrong lord. Well, maybe not chose, but just circumstance, really.
No pleasure in killing a man like you, yet I cannot allow you to live on.
Yeah. He also, you know, just killed your own son, but... Sure, let's. Who's out losing?
Guess I
Yeah.
really dragged you down there. Thanks for the
No, you're
help.
fine, Catherine. Alrighty. Funnily enough, though, like, in both the other two paths, almost every MVP was Shez when we looked at the end screen. I actually think we have a fair number that were Dimitri.
My turn.
Just interesting stuff.
That should put a stop to the attacks, too.
Ooh. We still didn't capture those middle... Oh, hey, we can use
Now the trash
Neat.
should be disabled too.
133. I will probably level Catherine and use her. Just because I've wanted to play her this entire time, and I didn't think she was going to be playable.
Report. A large Imperial force is advancing on the Aryan Road perimeter.
My turn.
I bet the Emperor is with them.
Yeah, I was going to say, Edelgard is suspiciously not present at all for how much they kind of have been hyping up that we got to go defend it from Edelgard's personal force. Because that was supposedly what was here. Don't let the main plaza fall. Oh, main plaza is this top one, no? Yeah, okay. You know what,
Time
Catherine?
to go to work.
You stay here.
Sounds
Looks like Margaret Gautier is there. There's Yuri, okay. That does make sense, though, that the stage wouldn't end right there because we knew we were going to persuade Yuri.
One fun surprise after another. Well, would you look at that? A hidden staircase.
Oh, would you look at that? Just a hidden staircase right here.
Opened another secret passage. Whoever that is must be quite familiar with the construction of this place.
Yeah. Well, I think it was maybe, to be fair, slightly less present in Alliance territory, but like I remember in the Empire's, castle itself, it was noted that the Church of Saros had knowledge on a bunch of like secret passageways there, such and such. Just interesting stuff, honestly. There is Linhardt's father. Interesting.
Road is a key position for us. We must retake it, even if we suffer losses in the
I wonder
process.
if we have to take him out here. There's Linhardt. We didn't have the option to persuade Linhardt, though. Does he die on this path?
I believe I got myself dragged out here.
That would be surprising. Granted, on the Scarlet Blaze path, we killed a lot of the members of the Knights, so maybe less surprising.
We'll lose the whole battle. Plus, we've got to protect the strongholds all around it too.
Well, that's where our good old horseback riding Dimitri comes into play. Because we're probably just going to have him run around and beat up on everyone. Is that Yuri down? Why are there so many thieves?
defensive formation. Let's send the enemy packing.
Did he not go down? Oh. Come on, Yuri. Go down, please. There we go. I was like, I thought I got rid of him and the main mission changed, and I thought it was just going to immediately update, and then it didn't. And I was like, oh, wait a second.
When you put it that way. I guess I would prefer not to get butchered.
I would feel a little bad if we killed Linhardt here, but again, we killed who? Ingrid, we killed, I think, Ahmed as well. Like, a lot of people did not survive. Bad call marksman, there we go. That's our last strategy. But we had every strategy marked as well, so we know there wasn't the opportunity to persuade Linhardt here. I just find it odd, too, that we're killing random members of the houses when this game very clearly went out of its way to try and keep all three of the main lords alive, you know? And again, maybe this will be the path that breaks it, and we just happen to play this one last. Nope. It said defeated, not killed. Perfect.
I'm not ready to die yet after all.
I support that, Linhardt. You get out of here, buddy. Even if we don't get to recruit you this path, I'd rather not just murder you. I felt really bad about, especially Ingrid. I felt so bad about that one. I don't even particularly like Ingrid, but she just like kicked the bucket, and I was like, ah, we definitely just murdered her.
I am Valdemar von Heffel, Imperial Minister of Domestic Affairs. My reasons for being here are my own.
Okay, well, whatever reasons they were, they can wait.
Sense in getting myself killed. I shall retreat.
Yeah. And Cat Hovering also seemed like a pretty likable guy. Listen, I know it's a Fire Emblem game, but I don't want to kill everyone, you know? Maybe that's just me.
Excellent. Question now is, where is Edelgard?
Oh? Oh, there she is? Well, it's chapter like 9, so even if we defeat her here, she's not dying here, surely. I actually don't think any of the... Again, knowing the endgame and like the whole Three Lords thing and the extra world with Shez and Arvel and everything... Ow, I just popped my ankle. I really doubt that if any of the Lords die just randomly in this path, whereas they didn't obviously in the other two, it surely would have to be at the very, very end, you know? That is a lot of enemies, though. I understand now why this... Yeah, we're 10 minutes in. I understand now why they didn't... why they gave us so much... Like, this was a pretty lengthy time limit. It's because there's so much to this stage. Oh my gosh. Good thing Shez is level 74. Oh.
It seems you are the victor in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I bid you farewell.
Is she gonna run away?
No escape!
Indeed, this moment will be
Oh.
the doom of you both.
What?
Tallis.
Dear
It is
Edelgard,
Tallis, okay.
It has been far too long.
In this path, did they really explain who Tallis was?
So, have you really found an ally in Dimitri?
Oh.
This.
So you are not allies? That makes more sense.
That makes me think Cornelia really was just
Can't
trying to
imagine you
manipulate
joining
Dimitri
forces
too.
With the man who killed your father.
Do we actually... Well, if we find an uneasy peace with the Empire this early in this path, what do we do for like the next 7 chapters?
If what you say is the truth,
Seems a bit
if
odd.
this man murdered my father, then you and I have much to talk about. Till then,
Yeah.
nobody lays a hand on you.
Hey. This is me. Uh-oh. What? What? Oh, this is a long cutscene. Oh my gosh.
Is that?
Oh no. Do we have to kill Edelgard in this path? I really thought all 3 of the lords were going to survive in every path, but
That's enough. I'm all
that's
right.
like the wicked form you fight in the church route on 3 houses.
And I'm not gonna let you die here, okay?
She's carrying Dimitri away, but that's oh no.
I promised you, didn't I? By your side, always.
I like Dimitri and Chez's relationship. We did not defeat 2k enemies though, that, yeah. No. I could have done a lot more, I think, in the early game, but like I was saying, I thought we needed to save Sylvain's brother. We obviously did not, but that's where I think I missed out on a lot of those chaos. That's fine. Not a big deal. But that's crazy, that actually, I was really hoping we didn't kill, you know, every member of the... I mean, I thought the 3 lords were gonna survive all 3 paths and we wouldn't have to kill them, but that...
Your Majesty, the Imperial army makes to retreat. As for that monster, it's disappeared.
And if that's the case, that's gonna throw the Empire into shambles too.
After what happened to Edelgard, I dare say they had little choice.
We must treat your wounds.
Did he see her, like, transform into the monster, though? That's crazy.
You needn't worry about me. The Empire is on the back foot. This is our chance. Secure Aryan Road at once.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Edelgard called my father's killer Tallis.
Yeah.
Hey, Dimitri. I didn't catch more than a glimpse of the guy, but something's not sitting right with me.
Yeah, I don't think Tallis was really introduced in this path, and that's what's cool, is like, it's, in a weird way, it's almost like some of this information with each path is left, like, partially incomplete, and then you really understand it. The first example that always hit me was, like, especially since because we didn't play Scarlet Blaze first, in that first mission where you rescue Monica, there's just that quick little glimpse of a conversation between what's his name? Yuritsa and Edelgard. And you don't know what's going on, but then in the Empire route you realize, oh, they were really talking about Monica. They knew that was there. That's why Yuritsa ran off on his own. Stuff like that is just really cool. I think they did a great job with it.
He might be another one, like Tomas.
But
and like me.
I really wonder, does Edelgard...
How am I connected to them? Just what is this power I have?
Because I'm pretty sure, wasn't that like the final form she takes in the Church Rod of Three Houses? I swear we've seen that design before, and I swear it was when we had to, you know, murder her. But I really thought all three lords were going to survive in every path.
Your concern, but my thinking remains unchanged from 2 years ago. Whatever the truth of your abilities may be, I trust you.
I'm so happy.
I will continue to do so.
Like I said, their relationship's wholesome. I mean, you gotta consider, like, Edelgard did kind of take care of Shez, but Edelgard and Hubert made it very, very clear, we still, like, even if we say we trust you, do we really? You know, they still had doubts, and it was very clear, which is fair, but, you know, it's still very clear. And Claude also left us high and dry. I've mentioned this many times for, like, the 2 years we were in the Alliance. He was just, you know, like, whereas Dimitri's just wholeheartedly just wholesome, like, I trust you, you know? Maybe as the standpoint of, like, a leader over a big nation, it's stupid, but I just think that's wholesome.
I only wish I had more to say.
Because Claude really didn't confide in, like, anyone enough for a good chunk of his path, and then Edelgard was just like, yeah, no, sorry.
We may find that the questions hanging over the two of us share a single answer.
And that's fair too, you know?
What do you mean?
Why don't you stick together and find out the answers?
Edelgard said it was Tallis that murdered my father. Of course, it is the peak of folly to take an enemy's word at face value. But if she spoke true...
But she also clearly thought that we were Tallis' ally. So again, that really makes me wonder the credibility to Cornelia saying in her dying moments, which, again, I think I mentioned too, I wasn't sure if that was true, if that was just her kind of trying to sow chaos. Again, that's maybe something that I talked in the short little clip that I lost, but just makes you wonder.
Then neither the Western Lords nor the Empire are the root of this strife.
It's those who slither in the dark.
Skulks in the shadows of Fodlan, bending matters to their will. And if we suppose Cornelia was party to Tallis and his dark schemes, her actions become all the more
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
I alone must bring light to this darkness.
You're doing it again.
Good old Felix.
On revenge, you know. Or on truth-seeking for that matter.
I need to know what happened too. I need to face the reality of my past.
I don't know.
I'm into.
Yeah, I was gonna say what Ingrid's referring to.
Closure. I know I don't
Maybe
have
it's
the
support
same kind of
conversations.
shared
I think we've only
history
done our
all
C
of you
rank.
do. But I do share your desire to know the truth, both about myself and everything else.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Forgive me. For the time being...
They did a good job of keeping, like, his conflicted nature, though, from post-time skip in Three Houses, but also not making him just be like, yeah, he was insane. He was insane and now he doesn't talk to anyone, you know? I didn't mind either version, but Dimitri obviously went through the most drastic change post-time skip from Three Houses to Three Hopes.
Once we've secured the Silver Maiden, we'll return to the capital.
Okay.
Edelgard.
But this is what I mean when I say that the Alliance tends to take a backseat. You know?
Adrestia is yours
Oh
to
no.
command in the Emperor's stead.
So she is going to be completely missing.
None remain who can stop your ascension to the peak of
Oh,
this
stupid
empire.
Tallis.
And what
Oh, she's
says
not
Her
a...
Majesty?
She's not a monster right now.
Nothing at present. A grave injury
Oh my
suffered during the
gosh.
siege of Aryan Road has left her unable to speak. Come now, Duke. Haven't you always
What does Hubert have to say about this? Like,
time of greatest need?
after that entire Scarlet Blaze path? Like, there's no way he accepts this, but...
I will take up arms to solve this
So this guy also isn't dead by this point. I don't remember what chapter in Scarlet Blaze we got rid of Ferdinand's father, but I thought it was fairly early.
And unite
Interesting.
all of Fodlan beneath the ever majestic banner of Adrestia.
The unfulfilled ambition of countless emperors past will be made manifest by none other than myself.
Oh, this dude definitely dies this path too, doesn't he?
Savior of the Empire.
Yeah, Ferdinand's dad.
Then we will lift you up from the darkness until the day you inevitably stumble back down.
Oh, it's coming soon. Karma's coming heavy for you. Both of you.
Having driven off the Empire and defended Aryan Road, Vargas gains a distinct advantage on the western front.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be like permanently turned into that monster, so maybe she doesn't die.
Capitalizing on Edelgard's condition, control of Adrestia is wrested away by the now regent Ire. However, the citizenry grows quickly resentful of his brutal manner of governance.
Well, to be fair, a part 1v? Okay. Well, to be fair, Edelgard drove the entire country into war, but yeah. Yeah, that's also fair. I wonder, though, then it's just, the pacing seems different, like...
Fanaticism.
That was chapter 9, was it not? Do we really recruit Byleth and Jeralt in this next chapter?
Year is 1182.
Because there's not really been any setup for, like, you know, us betraying, say, Randolph, and then Randolph's sister hiring Byleth and Jeralt, or, you know, like there was in the other two paths. It just,
Its rivers run red with the blood of its citizens, who are beset by rampant pillage and slaughter. Dimitri resolves to kill the Emperor, dismantle Adrestia.
Why kill Edelgard? Does he not know that she's no longer in control? Dimitri.
Is this true, Lady Rhea?
It is. Edelgard told me as much before she left to deal with the upheaval in Enbar.
Okay.
Regent Volkard von Arundel was colluding with Tomas and his fellow knaves. For many years.
I'm surprised that she communicated anything with Rhea, actually. This is talking about the very beginning, like pre-time skip when we went back to the Empire like we did in Scarlet Blaze.
Speaking of it now, I realize such a sudden change ought to raise suspicion.
You think?
Just like Tomas, he became an entirely different person almost overnight.
But again, it makes you wonder,
We had a similar
were they
occurrence
kind
in
of
Vargas as well.
like that the entire time? Did something happen that corrupted them instantly? You know, it's just hard to tell.
The one who cured the
And I kind of
plague,
like that
yes?
they left that up to
she
up in the air. Maybe they'll explain it in this path, but like the thought of like, was Tomas really at Garreg Mach for 40 years trying to plant the seeds for like all of this stuff?
I had assumed them to be
Or
agents
was
of
it
the
just some
Empire,
sudden change, you know?
striving to sow discord within our lands.
I don't think there's always a need to just completely explain everything.
Back at Aryan Road, the Emperor herself was assaulted by a dark mage who we can assume is in league with Tomas. Whoever these people are, they clearly have their own objectives in this conflict.
Oh yeah.
As for the man who appeared, Talus, was it? It seemed as though the Emperor recognized him.
Yes. She also claimed this Talus was the one responsible for my father's death. I find it difficult to take a bitter enemy's assertion as fact.
But the pieces do fit.
But the pieces do fit.
But he never had the chance to ask about his stepmother and Edelgard's mother. But again, like, Cornelia really made it sound like, in fact, if she didn't directly state, if I remember correctly, that she... Oh, hey, Claude. I was wondering when you were going to show up in anything.
That makes two of us. I can think of plenty of better places for a meeting than this chilly old castle.
So in this
of
path, do
yours.
we make the alliance with,
Of course, I'm the one
the
who
alliance?
asked to stop by in the first place. Thanks for seeing me, Dimitri.
Interesting. Maybe this is where we get
Empire's sure been busy
a
lately.
few members of the
An
alliance
uprising
on our
over
roster.
here, a siege over there. You'd think they'd get tired of causing so much chaos. But now they're looking to cross the Aramid and do the exact same in Alliance territory.
Okay.
I doubt it'll be long before we start getting hit.
This
with
path
some
really
serious
does seem to
losses.
diverge from the other two. A lot of the events in the Alliance and the Empire very clearly we're at like the same point in time, just from a different point of view with slight alterations. This is very different.
I am grateful to hear
I'm really glad
such
we did this
suggestive
path last,
thought.
actually.
Hardened as our soldiers may be, even the combined force of the kingdom and the Knights of Seros pales in comparison to the staggering might of Adrestia.
If we ever hope to take their capital, we'll need to splinter their army between east and west.
Or we could just combine our forces, no?
And
Maybe that's just me being a bit simplistic, but, you know,
carving a path to it will not
it's
be
kind
an
of
easy
what
task.
the Alliance did with the Empire.
I could get behind
Once Claude stopped
scattering
trying to
their
stab his
troops.
allies in the
They've got
back,
bear of a man in Count Burgley,
causing
so
revenge
their eastern
plots.
flank. passing through Hevring territory in the west won't be smooth sailing either. The Ogma Mountains aren't exactly what I'd call welcoming.
Okay. Hey, Ogma, that's, I wonder if that's just an Easter egg, or if it's actually named after Captain Ogma from... I always call it Shadow Dragon. I know there's, like, that's the remake of Marth's story, but... just stuff that I wonder when you see it, you know?
Attempted head-on assault will leave our forces depleted and exhausted before we even reach the capital.
But hey, you're in luck. I have a plan. A way we can target
Of course you
Enbar
do.
without so much
Are you
hassle.
about to stab us in the back, Claude?
All we
I
have to
wouldn't
do
think
is
about
find
it if you
one
hadn't done it in
real
your own
strong,
path.
And their sway in Fodlan will shrink dramatically. Any ideas what it is?
Nope.
Garreg Mach.
Never mind. That does make a lot
Hey,
of sense.
You really know your stuff, Dimitri.
Garreg Mach is sacred to us. Reclaiming it would provide a significant boost to morale. But how do you propose we strike at such a well-fortified location?
Are there actually no secret,
Draw the
like,
Imperial Army
arrows
out to
there,
our
or-
respective front lines. Then launch a pincer attack on the old monastery from both the east and the west.
Again, this is really reliant on both of us upholding our ends. If he stabs us in the back, I'm going to be really sad and disappointed in you, Claude.
Then allow me to suggest an idea of my own. I believe we should approach by way of Aela.
Halo, okay.
The valley is not closely guarded by the enemy, and its narrow paths negate any numerical advantage they may hold over us.
That does seem to be a pretty common thing, though.
Dispatch our best
We kind of did the same thing with the
then I
Almirans in the Alliance Path. If you're severely outnumbered, just funnel them in somewhere.
Torment, huh? You're a better tactician than I gave you credit for, Rhea. How about this? First, we create a diversion by sending separate forces to the east and west and making it look like we aim for their capital. That'll split their focus.
Okay.
Then, when the time's right, we shift our attention to Garreg Mach, sending an army through the Valley of Torment to reclaim it.
The issue then becomes how to hold our ground on both the eastern and western fronts.
Okay.
The west does not concern me on its own. We will have Count Burgleys to contend with in the east.
Yeah, Count Burgleys
The
is
trick is engaging the enemy
scary.
as little as possible. And don't worry, I've got a few surprises up my sleeve.
I'm pretty sure that's Kisper's father.
The Knights of Seros may be few in number, but they are all the more agile for it. They will act separately, providing
Well, to be fair, like half of your main knights are technically just combined with the forces at this point, but sure.
The support is
But the more and more I see, the more and more I really don't think that Rhea is the final boss of this path, unless she stabs us in the back. Which, maybe it is just one path where the final member is those who live in the dark, maybe it's evil Edelgard. Who knows? Well, now Claude's bringing that up too.
My people still seek their guidance. So long as that is the case,
Okay, that's
I will
fair.
continue to offer them shelter.
Meaning what? You toss them out on the street if nobody needed them anymore?
Claude.
I doubt such a day will
Yeah,
ever
but
dawn.
still.
Territories may change.
Oh my gosh.
People's hearts will always be stubborn things. Even if we started our own church like the Empire has, there's no guarantee our citizens
Yeah.
would accept it in any timely manner, or at all.
And this really fits with Dimitri's character, though. In other paths, when he mentioned these kinds of changes shouldn't have been forced through war, they should have happened over time.
Partnership with the kingdom.
I hope we can keep this beautiful thing going for many years, long beyond the trouncing we're about to hand the Empire.
That glint in your eye says otherwise.
I really do hope they realize quickly, if they haven't already, though, that Edelgard is not currently in control, that we probably need to rescue her, and that it is, you know, Ferdinand's father who's causing issues.
And speaking of trust,
Wonder
I
if-
trust you'll be throwing a big feast tonight to celebrate the occasion. I can't wait to taste that old-fashioned.
But I wonder, because in Scarlet Blaze, you know, Ferdinand realized that his father was a traitor, and he was the one who, you know, killed him. So I wonder if he realizes that or if he dies alongside him now.
6 months since the siege back at Aryan Road.
Oh, just a casual 6 months, huh?
Quite.
Yeah.
It's no surprise we've been at a standstill, though. Both the
Well, that
Empire
explains how,
and
like, they kind of
Kingdom
explained
suffered
how the
heavy
Empire was
losses
starting
during
to
the
suffer from internal strife, though.
But lucky for us, it seems the ice is finally thawing. Let's hope you've kept your wits as sharp as your blade all this time.
Okay.
Ah, there you are.
Hey, it's the members of Golden Deer.
What are they doing here?
Were you not made aware? Our fine leaders have seen
Okay.
fit to integrate our armies as we'll be fighting
Do
on
we
the
just
same side
wow?
from
If
here
if they do just shove all the Golden Deer members on our side here,
quite insistent on our joining you on the
even if it's just these four, that doesn't include Lysithea, which makes me a little bit sad. But wow, that's yeah.
I can feel my muscles tightening up already. Yes. I had hoped the cold would at least bring a picturesque snowscape with it, but alas.
Really makes you wonder if there's that many more characters to persuade, because now we have... Wait, do we have Balthus? Maybe Balthus is who we get with Jeralt and that. But I'm still confused, though. It's been Chapter 10 for Byleth and Jeralt and every other one. There's no setup for that to happen here. You know? Like, there's literally no setup. Is it really Chapter 10?
Either you all can stay on the front lines with us, or join the rear guard and help in a more indirect way.
Either is more than acceptable for us, though I should say our preference would be to fight by your side. If we fail to distinguish ourselves here, there will be no end to Claude's sarcastic
yeah, that's fair.
upon our return.
Borderlands. This decision will allow you to increase... Oh yeah, of course.
Let's take them at the front with us.
There's no reason not to.
We can discuss further with the others later, but it's safe to assume that is the direction we'll head.
I wonder if I send them to the rear guard, is it just literally I get to cav them or I don't get to have them? Because if you don't, if that's the choice there, why would you not? You know?
Nice of Claude to be sending us back up.
Indeed. It's hard to know.
Well, then how's he gonna pull off his half of the pincer attack? He probably still has like Hilda and such, but makes you wonder.
Your tone's telling a different story, though. What's up?
It's merely that we all have our own reasons for taking part in this fight. Everyone, Claude, Rhea, even us.
Well, you don't just go to war for no reason, even if it was initially just to kind of defend yourself. That's not how war works.
What? You mean there's more to this thing than just stopping the Empire?
Yes. For my part, I would like to uncover the true nature of this enemy hidden in the shadows of Fodlan. The Church likely wants little beyond the reclamation of Garreg Mach. As for Claude...
Yeah, Claude's a hard one to read, no matter what the path. Even when we were on his side, Claude was a little bit difficult to read.
After he's finished tying up loose ends in the west. But even as our numbers burgeon, we can't afford to lower our guard. The situation demands constant vigilance.
Just gotta be careful. Ooh, and I think my stream was cut out. Jeez. Power yesterday, now my internet's struggling. It has been... Oof. Ah, well, we'll just keep going. I'm sure it'll come back. If not, the VOD will be on YouTube, so... Not too worried about it. Alright, so Lorenz, Raphael, Ignatz, and Marianne. Temporarily parted ways with Rodrigo. And he gets his masterclass. Cool. Gotta speak with Dimitri. Okay. We'll head straight that way.
I've been waiting for you.
Oh, this is probably just, yeah, this is battle suggestions. Fair enough. Didn't even think about that.
I have an idea.
Let's see, wields tomes, lances, I really don't think it matters. Maybe we'll do lances though, because it's two people that we don't have max support conversations with. And it does give you some support points with them. Cannot possibly hurt.
Impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so we do get the, there's the Merc Whistle. Well, like I said, we're 100% giving it to Catherine here. So what I might do is, first we'll do like all of our general training and such. And then I'm really curious to see, actually, I want to stick Shamir and Catherine in here. Just for the sake of seeing what their support conversation with each other will be, because surely there's something there, you know? I guess I had Roderick here, probably. There's obviously a ton of inter-supports to be had here, just because we didn't, you know, have a lot of these characters before. But we'll see. I might as well stick a couple, even if they're mastered, you know? Let's try that. Used all the points there, that's nice.
Time to work you
Alright, acquire class. So I want to see, so Roderick's no longer here, but he was maxed out. Shamir was Bow Knight. Swordmaster is probably top class, isn't it? It's not. That's interesting. So we need Catherine to master her class so she can become a mortal savant. Like I said, I'm pretty sure most of these characters are. Obviously, all the members of the Golden DR, we've had most of them for the third path now. Bow Knight, Falcon Knight, Gurmary, Knight. I think it is just... Probably just... Yeah, it's just Dimitri. Okay. Well, he finally got access to his Great Lord class, which is pretty neat. He's no longer mounted, but that's fine. Alright, so then. We go get a meal.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Try onion gratin soup. Dimitri and Catherine, perfect. Like I said, I was really looking forward to maybe being able to play as Catherine, so I'm really happy that she's actually playable.
This is great.
I don't know why, I've just always really liked Catherine too.
This reminds me of my youth.
Wow.
What's she say?
You really know your stuff. This is my favorite.
Nice. Alright.
Come back whenever you're hungry.
Let's see, so we have volunteer points. First off, though, let's just make sure that Catherine is up to date. So we're going to start out by going to, well, let's collect our supplies first. Then we'll get on top of it, because I want to make sure that her weapon is... Did she just automatically have Thunderbrand? Because we had Thunderbrand before.
Need something?
She wasn't equipped with Thunderbrand. That's interesting. What did she have? A silver, so okay. Well, first off, let's go to the convoy. You spend a little bit of time suiting her up, leveling her up and such, because, like I said, she was one of the characters I was most looking forward to seeing if I could play, and then she didn't show up on any other path, so pretty happy about that, actually. We'll give her... I don't know. We could do Clash, Sclerotic Speller. Let's do... Why not? Clash Gem. That'll get her to her Mortal Savant class faster, and then we'll give her... Yeah, I really haven't worried too much about a lot of these battalions, have I? Give her one of the B rank ones, then. I think it really is just, yeah, it gives extra tier advantage against enemies with certain ones, so why not? Give her some kind of knight. Okay. Okay. Then let's go to the Blacksmiths, and I believe I've already unleashed the effect. Yeah, I was going to say based on power. So we need to strengthen Thunderbrand a bit. What's it take? Umbral Steel? Okay.
Is this it?
We don't have a whole lot of Umbral Steel because we've used it for other special weapons, but that's already up to 190. And this is kind of stuff I'd usually do off stream, but I figure why not. Oh, and it looks our stream's back. Yeah, sorry about that. My... dude, it's just been a struggle recently, but glad we're back. Yeah, we're back. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Umbral Steel, we'll just grab the max here.
Everything has its use.
And it looks like it started up as a second stream, actually. Oops. Came back up pretty fast, though. Let's see. So Thunderbrand, we'll Ridge Thunderbrand, maybe twice. We might not have enough Umbral Steel to go all the way there, but I like to give myself a little bit of leeway. We can obviously go back and, you know, re-exchange all of our resources and such. It wouldn't be too hard, but I don't really mind.
Is this it?
Yes. We did have enough. Perfect. Yeah, her weapon's up to 260. We need to go to the Tactics Academy and give her some more strength here.
My instruction comes at a high price.
Learn Tactics. Don't remember how much this costs, but we're literally just gonna upgrade Catherine and then probably spend the rest of the gold on experience for her, because I really like her design. That's why we use Shamir for a good chunk, so we're gonna give it a try.
I'll add this to my... The more power, the better.
There we go.
Don't neglect your daily studies.
And then... Training Instructor. And we honestly might go give her some gifts to raise her affinity real quick. Because we already have the Merc Whistle, and we were planning on giving it to her. I'm not really worried about the specific skill that you can get and such. I really just... Like I said, I've been giving it to the characters that I like. Level 50 already. Isn't she already... Yeah, she's already a higher level than Dimitri now. Nice. We'll spend our chore points and such.
Care to make yourself useful?
Alright, what did she like to do? Maintain equipment? That makes a lot of sense too. Like I said, I'm really interested to see what conversation she has with Shamir, given that Shamir wasn't with the Knights of Saros for such a while. But let's see.
No big deal for... Indeed.
We all must
do our fair share to make yourself useful.
Alrighty then.
You were splendid. We all must do our fair share to make yourself useful.
They got some points there. Dorothea and Raphael. I'm really curious to kind of mix units like here. That again we didn't have on the same path, which is mostly going to be knights plus other units. I'm a little bit sad that we didn't get Lysithea because we got those 4 members of the Golden Deer, like all right next to each other, but not Lysithea, who was also the most leveled member of the Golden Deer we had by like a long shot. In fact, she was probably our, I think she's our 2nd highest level unit overall after Shez. So, just interesting. Click here to do, and flame, that works. We have so many units though on this path, it's kind of crazy. I was really expecting that just because so many of these units from the Knights weren't playable on any other paths, I really thought that they just weren't going to be, like this was going to be just a more singular, like, oh, we get a few members here and there, but maybe it is just predominantly Knights plus, you know, the Knights of Seiros as well. And instead we've just ended up with a ton of units. It's kind of crazy. But, yeah. Nick. We might do a few support conversations here too, actually. Let me find Catherine, though. Because seriously, I haven't worried much. I've mentioned this before, but I think in 3 houses it was really important to have...
It's you.
So she left 2 years ago and began work. So she did do that, in this path. Interesting. So she did go back to the Alliance. I wonder if that was the case in the Empire's path and they just never mentioned it. But anyway, I don't know what else she likes, but we probably have quite a few. I haven't been collecting them every chapter now I think about it. But, yeah. I'm just gonna give her like 10 of these, and then I'm not gonna worry about getting her straight to A rank because we're obviously gonna be using her. But then we'll probably do some support conversations and get moving. But I'm really confused though. Like I was saying, it's been chapter 10 on both the other 2 paths for recruiting Byleth and Jeralt. But we just got like, between the last couple chapters, we just got like 8 or 9 units. And again, there's no setup for getting Byleth or Jeralt here, so I'm really confused. Interesting, okay. So then, let's, wrong button. Curious how much that got us, because we obviously have a ton of support conversations. I just have a hard time sitting through them all. I figured this path, maybe we just do a big binge session at the end. Wow, never mind, we're already at A. Looks like we do only have 2 conversations with her, so let's watch these at least.
What a pain.
Oh?
Everything all right, Catherine? Thought I saw Count Karen a second ago.
Yes, I just had to talk to my father about something. He wanted to request some of the church's soldiers as reinforcements, but I don't have the authority to make that decision.
Okay. I think that does make sense, though.
I can't understand why he'd come to me for something that only Lady Rhea or Dimitri could help him with.
Whoa, wait. Count Karen is your dad?
Oh.
Yes. Huh. I could have sworn you knew.
I didn't remember if that was mentioned ever before in 3 houses.
I guess you do now. I am, in fact, the daughter of Count Karen of Fargus.
Okay, so she's a daughter of,
I had no idea. Oh,
interesting.
Now that you mention it, you do bear their crest.
Also something I didn't know, but still.
Complicated with my family, to say
Well, she's a Knight of Seiros, which isn't really affiliated, even though, you know, the Church of Seiros is very heavily influenced by the Church. Yeah, I was gonna say, they don't really, she doesn't have a connection to the House of the Kingdom. Because she's kind of in a more neutral party.
So you intend to keep serving the Church going forward?
She did die for the Church in the other 2 paths.
What do you think you would do if the Church and Kingdom broke their alliance?
A foolish question. Obviously,
Yeah.
I would side with
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, it's easy for us to say that, I guess, but
it's not a matter of kingdom
still.
or church. My allegiance and my sword lies with Lady Rhea and her alone. Though, of course, I would prefer not to fight my friends and family from back home. So it would be ideal for me if the kingdom and church could play nice forever.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty nice.
Archbishop's personal sword, huh? You've got one heavy blade.
What about you? What are you fighting for here? Or is it one of those I just tripped and fell into it kind of stories.
Let's be honest.
To settle with someone.
At this point,
Figure I got
I
a
don't
better
think
chance
Shez
of
really
fighting
wants to
them
kill
again if I'm here.
Byleth, but again, very,
Oh yeah?
very
Must
important
be a
Shez.
formidable opponent, judging by that look on your face.
Oh yeah.
Aside from that, you might be right. Maybe my coming to Fargus was pure chance. A civil war broke out in the capital right after I joined the Officers' Academy. By the time things died down, Rhea decided to close the school. That's when Dimitri put me in my current
It's kind
role.
of sad actually though. Byleth got like a good chunk of time to be a professor of the academy, like several months. Shez was like a student for like a month or two, you know? And then everything went just crud so fast.
Past self proud. That's enough.
Make my past self proud, huh?
Easier said than done, I know. But it can't hurt to try, right?
Yeah.
Just keep challenging yourself. You'll get there eventually.
That's why I like Catherine though. Very straightforward. Very like honest. Just refreshing, you know? Let's do our A rank here. Yeah, I'm really starting to realize how many sport conversations we haven't caught up on.
It's admirable of you to keep at it so late.
Yeah, well, I like to get in a little bit of practice whenever I can. Can't afford to fall behind with everyone else getting so strong on the battlefield.
That's fair.
It's a little late for me today, but I could join you tomorrow. If that's okay, of course.
Really? That'd be great.
A desire to get stronger is not a bad thing in my book.
And Catherine is one of the strongest, you know,
While we're on the
knights
subject,
in
can I ask you something?
/ like
Why do you wanna
militaristic
get
figures
stronger?
in Bodland,
No,
to my
wait.
knowledge.
Let me start with a different question. What made you originally decide to become a mercenary?
I'd give her an
It's
answer.
not really much of a story. This is kind of just where I ended up.
Yeah.
After my mom died, I left the village we'd been living in, but I had no idea what I was gonna do. I eventually ran out of money and fell in with
That's
a
fair, yeah.
mercenary group. Then I worked my
She's a
way up
laundry,
from
huh?
doing their
Better than
laundry
being a
to
thief or
fighting.
something like that, you know? Not exactly the most honest form of work,
I
but
guess your
could be
story is
worse.
a pretty common one, actually. How'd mercenary life treat you?
Awful at first. But once I met some folks that I got along with, it wasn't so bad. Anyway, the plan was to keep fighting alongside my friends, make a name for myself as a merc, and eventually run out of luck and die.
Well, that's not how things turned out.
Somehow, I've suddenly
Yeah.
found myself in charge of the king's private army, leading soldiers into battle.
Or the Empire's mercenary group, or a commander of the Alliance's army / Federation.
That's how life
Pretty
is.
crazy.
You never know what tomorrow will bring. When I was a kid, I never imagined I'd be wielding some holy relic as a Knight of Saros. I thought my destiny was to follow in my father's footsteps and become the next Count Karen.
It seems like
Count
you've been through
Karen.
a lot. I heard you were a fugitive at one point.
Yes, well, something happened. My best friend lost his way, and I couldn't set him right. Eventually, it cost him his life, and I let it happen.
That's actually really sad, but you can't always, you
I
know,
couldn't stay in my hometown after
choose
something
how
like
other
that.
people choose to be, even those close to you.
But despite all that pain and sadness, I have no regrets about the choices I've made in my life.
Not many can say that.
Yeah.
So, you've succeeded in making your past self proud, huh?
That's right. My past has made me who I am today. I'm going to keep moving forward, no matter what hardships lie ahead.
You're a strong person, Catherine. I think I could learn a lot from you.
Yeah, I think
Hearing your
Shez and
story
Catherine
and
would
what you said about
get along really
making
well,
yourself
actually.
Proud gives me so much to think about. No matter how hard we try, there will always be times when we have to make tough choices, right? My past self fought hard to get me here. Am I gonna make the choice that past me would have approved of?
The tough part isn't making the right choice, though. It's what you do after. You must try your best to make whatever decision you land on into the right one in the end.
You make it sound so easy. But the more I think about it, the harder it
Well,
seems.
everything's
Then
easier
don't
said
think
than
about
done, I
it.
suppose, but
Just
still.
keep trying your best day after day. Put one foot in front of the other, and eventually, you'll look back and realize how far you've come.
It's actually not bad life advice.
Do, huh?
This obviously always helps to look forward a bit
You
and
could even start right now.
plan for the future, but still.
If anything I said struck a chord, that is. I, for one, look forward to seeing you carve your own path, wherever it may lead.
Yep. Perfect summation, though, of why I like Catherine, a lot.
It's you.
So, here.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Thank you. Truly, this means a lot to me. I want you to have it.
Whetstone. Okay, that actually brings me back, because you have that one quest in the Academy days of 3 houses where you go through like a series of quests and you get the choice to give the whetstone to, I think it was whetstone, to either Shamir or Catherine. But, okay then. Let's, maybe delve a little bit further in the story, but we'll probably start doing a support conversation here or there from here on out. I'm still just so confused. This should be chapter 10, but I'm just gonna go straight for the fight as we have been. Ooh, new paralogs. What paralogs are they? That is an odd trio. So Catherine tells with his older brother. Oh, okay. Was Kristoff Ash's older brother? Was that Catherine's sworn friend, I wonder? Okay, and then this one, like, the ones that we've done before, I'm not going to do on stream. Same as last path. This one's been present in every single path because we've had all 3 of these. It's basically where, like, Lawrence reveals to Raphael that his father had, you know, quite a bit to do with Raphael's parents' deaths. But these paralogs that involve ones that we've already done before, I'm just going to do off stream probably. Just so they're not cluttering it up, and we can keep in mind what we still have to do. But the ones that we've definitely done before, not going to worry about it. I'm sure we'll get the Ashen Wolves one as well, with all 4 of them. Just not a big concern for me. Might as well. We really haven't been visiting Anna's shop. I keep thinking about it. Every time I see her on the map, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go visit her shop, and then I don't. But my plan is, if this is somehow, for some reason...
I've been thinking.
Yeah, sure.
I won't let you down.
But if for somehow, some way, this is the chapter where we recruit Byleth and Jeralt, we'll just back out and immediately, you know, go do the other stages. That's basically the plan right now, but again, I'm just so confused. Is it not chapter 10? It would just be so random, because, again, I felt like in both the other paths, it was chapter 10 for sure, but there was some kind of groundwork laid for it to happen. And now, it doesn't feel like there is. Well, we'll see.
Hey!
Combat art for bows. Yeah, why not? Combat arts I actually do think level up pretty fast when you're just kind of doing your own thing. Not a huge concern.
This one's been leveled too. Every last house in the village reduced to ash.
Interesting.
Our first push into enemy territory.
Yeah.
And all we
We're
have to
actually
show
invading
for
the
it
Empire, though.
is the charred
Wasn't
remains
really a
of
big
people's lives.
thing that happened in the other pass, I felt. Well, obviously not the one we were playing as the Empire, but I didn't feel like we got very far into the Empire on the Alliance path before we ended up, you know, signing the peace treaty and then going for the Church and the Kingdom.
I don't understand. Why would they do this?
Because Edelgard's not in charge anymore.
Stop us from retrieving supplies
You know?
from these villages? Were they that adamant that we not establish a base here? In a sense, are we
Oh no.
responsible for
Don't
this?
blame yourself for everything, Dimitri.
The fiends oppressed this region heavily. Setting it alight was no far step beyond that.
Looked like they raised the fields too.
What wrong had these people committed to deserve such barbarity, such mindless slaughter? And what sort of foul creature would carry it out?
Yeah, that really makes me think that maybe Ferdinand's going to realize that his father is just corrupt.
But there's no reason to execute all the villagers too. This isn't usually how the Empire does stuff. Sure, their methods have always been pretty rough.
Again, you'd think
but
they'll
never
start to
downright
put 2
cruel
and 2
like
together.
this.
Agreed. Perhaps this is the result of their failure at
Or not.
This devastation, this blackened earth. Can this truly be the world she hopes to create?
I suspect Edelgard is no more than a mere puppet now. That,
Yeah.
or perhaps a victim of whatever befell Tomas.
There you go. Not quite the same, but yeah. We still don't know quite what happened. Apparently she can't speak now. She looked like dazed during that cutscene we saw her. But again, I thought she was almost permanently going to be morphed into the, like, super monstrous Edelgard, and then she was in the next scene. So, there's that.
What's the call, Dimitri?
I'd like to push on, but It seems we will have to put that on hold for now. The Western Church comes first.
Okay. Is Bernadetta's the main quest reaching chain? Really? That hasn't happened before. That's actually really cool. Bit of a subversion for expectations. I don't mind wasting the training points and stuff. Like I said, I mean, if I'm absolutely worried about it, I'll probably just do the other stages on my own time. But that's really interesting. I am fascinated by that.
But why would the Western Church form an army now of all times?
I know they've had many disagreements with the Central Church over the years, but that doesn't explain the timing.
The answer may lie in the reports that some of Cornelia's associates have been seen among their ranks.
She's dead. But that's terrifying. I mean, when they say her associates, though, it might just be those who slither in the dark. So, you never know.
An organization devoted to the salvation of all, overtaken by another dedicated to nothing but chaos. Now there's some irony.
Yeah, sure is.
I guess it depends on what happened when. But if the Western Church has been rubbing elbows with Cornelia's people this whole time, they might have played a role of their own in the tragedy of Dusker.
Indeed, I believe the situation holds many hidden truths. Ones we may never have imagined until this very moment.
Interesting.
Tomas, Cornelia, Tallis? They've been pulling the strings this whole time. But what's that mean for me? My power is the
You know, they
exact same
always
as
say this in every path, but it's obviously similar, but it's not quite the same thing, and I really don't get why.
The answer to. Perhaps you're related somehow.
Everyone makes it sound like in every path, like, oh, it's the exact same thing.
Though bearing similar
It's a
abilities
little
doesn't
different, yeah.
necessarily make you their kin. The good news is, some of them will be in this very battle. Perhaps you can seek out the truth yourself.
Alright, well, let's see how this happens. Gotta rescue this. There's Balthus, yeah. Was wondering. Again, we don't have this final one, but I don't think that the Persuade are ever locked behind anything else. Let's see. Slightly weaken the enemies by demoralizing them. Assign archers. I'll probably just assign archers. I like the protect unit things. Let's see. Dimitri, Catherine, Ash. Who do we have to replace Mercedes with? Dorothea. Shamir's probably the one we'll go with. Yeah, Shamir's... I thought she was a higher level than 48. We could go with Dorothea here, but my thought is, now that Dimitri is no longer mounted, it'll be nice to have a mounted unit. 1,800 enemies, 15 minutes. Okay. Outside of not letting the citizens die, I don't think we have a whole lot to worry about in terms of time constraints. So, should be good there.
Imperial and otherwise.
We're heading that way.
Our priority is granting the local citizens an escape route.
Because there are gatekeepers, that's good enough.
We must start by capturing the nearby strongholds.
Oh, we've been on this map many times. It's kind of interesting though how, like, just based on story alone and such, they really do make some of these recurring maps feel a little bit different, which I can appreciate. Because obviously it would have been really difficult for them to make, you know, a literal different map for every single thing, every single time, you know? But I think they did a really good job of making them at least feel relevant in the story, even if it's quote-unquote the same map you're attacking on. It's like a different event. You get what I mean? Yeah, this is the moveset that you get, yeah, and if you can see, like, underneath... Oh, he does still have the 2 bars, actually. But he has those that little spear right there that you can see. And I believe that's for the... Is it? Okay, maybe not. I'm confused. But that was not there before, so it's interesting. Hey, look, it's Scuffed Captain Levi. This guy always makes me laugh just because he looks like a super discounted version of Levi.
Take a breather.
Shez, we do this side? interesting.
You can have your dirty money back. Find someone else for this job.
How interesting. So he just straight up says, I'm not doing this job. Good old Balthus.
We made it. Come on, we have to help the others.
We gotta be on our way. That's the citizens rescued. Did the stream just cut out again?
No matter what happens from here on
Oh
out,
my gosh.
we have to keep them safe.
We saved as many as we possibly could. Now we need to see them safely evacuated to the strongholds outside the fortress.
Oh, do we have to escort them? Okay, that's actually not good. In that case, let's assign
We will proceed as planned.
people to each of the citizens. I might just have
Time to go to work.
Shez run around and take out some enemies though, just in case. That'll help with the KO count so we don't run the risk of not getting an S rank again, because we didn't last time. Like I was saying, last time was because I didn't realize that Sylvain's brother was literally just doomed to die, so I was trying to rush through to that point, see if we could rescue him. And then we found out, and I was like, oh, well, that's awkward.
They just keep coming. Hard to fight and keep your prizes safe at the same time, isn't it?
Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Let me out.
He's just keeping him in there with him. Alright, who is being attacked? Take control of each individual one. I don't know at what point it, like, stops them from... I think it's after you've controlled a character for a set amount of time, it takes them off whatever mission they were on. So hopefully we can just do this real quick, have each of them defeat the enemies surrounding their villager, and they'll just stay locked on, because it is annoying when that switches off.
We should split up and take them down.
Yeah, okay. We did that fast enough. Metadata, huh?
And I said, you're going nowhere.
Jeez. Jeez. Just a very, like, generic sword set, but I still like it. What is her skill do I wonder? Straight Balthus? There we go. Interesting, it looks like a timed skill. What is the button to check again? Press the R to make attacks hit ooh! Reduce twice. So I can make attacks hit twice for a set amount of time, and deal a large amount of additional damage, and it can be reused periodically. Okay, that's actually really cool. And based on that timer, that bar over there, that actually lasts for a solid chunk of time. So we gotta persuade Balthus. I think we do have to take those forts first though, because it doesn't look like Balthus's area is open. Is he losing health though? Is he actually fighting? No. Okay. That's important to note too, because that means that we don't have to hurry potentially to go get him out of there. Never mind. I'm gonna clear out these forts first though. I'm sure he'll be fine. Looks like we actually did escort that out, so we'll send Shamir up too. Never mind, it's still locked out. Why is the Stronghold Captain all the way out here? That's interesting. Was one of our units right there? Oh, Ash was there. Ash, Dorothy, and Sylvain. Basically all of our side units. That explains a lot. I just think it's funny when Stronghold Captains get, like, super far out of their, you know, Stronghold. You'd think that's where they're supposed to be protecting, and then they're just all the way out there.
I can't believe how far you've come.
Alright, there we go. Those two strongholds taken. Yeah, Shamir wasn't the strongest. I don't remember if we ever really upgraded her weapon, because we stopped using her about the time we got Byleth and Jeralt, which would have been about Chapter 10. And then I don't think we really used her in our Empire path. So, yeah. The conditions have changed. Well, I don't know how we get in there to help all this. I'm assuming the final enemy afterwards will be in the upper left as well. Here's Melody. We don't need an introduction. We know he's crazy.
You let all the maggots get away, but I wasn't done torturing them.
Oh, as the stream finally comes back. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on today. I wonder if it's gonna record them all as separate VODs. It's annoying, but it's just part of life sometimes. Cause yeah, like I was saying, my power literally just cut out yesterday. I don't know what happened then, but I don't know what is going on. Both times, like the stream cut out for like 5-10 minutes, and then it was just back, fine speed. I don't get it, but either way, the VOD should still be recording in one piece, so it should be good. I don't know if I'll keep the VOD on Twitch though, if it kind of segments itself super hard. There we go. Hey, bye, Captain Levi.
If it's money you want, I'll split the loot.
Well, it's very clearly not, but that's a thought, I suppose. That is technically a thought.
Thanks for the rescue. What was I thinking? Taking a job working under those jerks. Perhaps you'd like
It's interesting though that this seems to be only the path of the three that Byleth is the last one you get, and not Yuri. The other two paths, it was absolutely Yuri, and it was actually chapter 10 though. But again, it's weird because this is not the chapter we're getting, Byleth and Jeralt. Really would have thought it would have been the same across all three paths because it was in the first two, but that's very clearly not the case. I think we need to get a new weapon for Shamir. That's probably what's going on here. Because I know these aren't her base skills, but I don't know what weapon she has, and she's not doing that much damage for a level 48 unit. Alright, let's head over here.
Is that what passes for an Imperial General these days?
No Felix talking smack. Yeah, I don't mind Shamir, Catherine's moveset. It actually reminds me a lot of Byleth's when you first get her and she's not an enlightened one.
I am Mice, liberator of humankind
Oh, it's Mycen, huh?
of filthy vermin.
He's one of those, like, it felt like they didn't have enough leaders of those who slither in the dark, so they just kind of added in Mycen. I don't know if that's just me, but that's what it kind of feels like. Alright, let's see. Shamir could get over there the fastest, but I know Shamir's running low on weapon durability to use her skills. And it really does feel like later in the game, that's how you get that big burst aside from the A bar. She just has 3 A bar, she still has almost half of the weapon durability. So let's just run her over there.
Keep the people safe. Whatever happens.
Oh, okay. They are sending enemies to both of these corner forts though, so let's
I will move to assist.
keep these two here.
Protect our strongholds.
Don't let Mycen retreat. Yeah, we'll head straight up there though with Shez and just take him out.
Turn a blind eye to the Empire's brutality. This wasn't what I signed up for.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
Well, lots of enemies just appearing here, huh?
Get away.
Well, I think the main target's Mycen. Obviously, it'd be nice if we could stop everyone, but Mycen doesn't appear to be moving very fast, but eh. It's fine. Hi, Mycen. I'm just gonna do this. So sorry you never stood a chance. Oh, that did in fact end the battle. Okay. I don't think we might have gotten an A rank again. Oops.
Any more gains here. No sense in sticking around. Unless
Bye, Mycen.
Mycen, was it?
Your efforts saved countless lives today. Hold your head high.
I don't know why I thought that wasn't going to end the fight, because that was really just the last corner of the map to visit, but I mean, oh no, we're good. Thank goodness. I was going to say, I really don't want to be doing all these stages a bunch of times because I didn't defeat enough enemies. Just being careless. But I'd like to do at least 1 or 2 more chapters, honestly, so we'll see. Not looking to finish it today. I know we probably have at least another stream or 2 on this path. But we have a whole week until Xenoblade 3 comes out, so we're good.
Where are you, Mycen?
Did he get away? Oh!
why? Why do you wield the power of Epimenides?
I always forget the name, but Epimenides is the other, like, version of Arvel. I didn't know that they would know who that was, though.
Epimenides?
We clearly wouldn't know who it was at this point in time.
Where did you obtain it? Unless his core.
His what?
This is like the first time in any of the 3 paths. Like, I'm really kind of glad we're doing this path last, because it's explaining some of these things that really weren't explained. Oh, and he's just gone. That's still more explanation than we really got in a lot of the other paths, though.
Yeah, and left us with nothing but questions. I didn't get a word of what he was saying.
Afraid the same goes.
And again, if we'd done this path first, we wouldn't have known who Epimenides was.
Indeed.
Either way, it's clear as day we're connected somehow.
I would voice my concern here just because it is scary, you know?
You think? I have to say, you've handled it with some serious aplomb these past few years. If you ask me, I see no reason to start fearing it now. The strength I've given you has saved countless lives, and you know it.
This is, you know,
Don't
he's not
you
incorrect.
remember what Dimitri said? Power itself is neutral. The good or evil comes from the one who wields it. So I say you keep using it, both to protect your friends and to finally defeat the Ashen Demon. Got something on your mind? You seemed oh so distracted during your training today.
A bit, yeah. It's kind of hard to just move on after what Myson said to me.
Yeah, he kind of just teleported in and dropped the bombshell on us and then left.
Epimenides? Part of me wonders if that's not somehow referring to you, Arvel.
Which it is.
I can't say for sure. The whole no memories thing, remember?
Right. I guess neither of us really know the truth about ourselves.
And I don't care to. Not now, anyway. There's an order all this should be done in. Priorities that take hold. If you let yourself get distracted by every shiny new object that comes along, you'll never reach your goal.
Which is what exactly? Wait, don't tell me.
Defeating the Ashen Demon.
Yeah.
Everything starts from there.
It really does make you wonder, though, without his memory, or its memories. I still don't know. I always assumed that Arvel was a guy, but I'm not gonna assume. But, it really does sit you and make you wonder, just like,
Not to mention,
without the memories, why is it still so obsessed with taking out Byleth, you know?
Yeah, you're probably right.
But in, like, this path, too, I don't think it is the best way to protect our new friends, because Dimitri's already mentioned, what if we just raise their price? They're mercenaries, you know?
Lord Rodrigue has just arrived. They hope to discuss strategy.
Okay, Rodrigue's finally back. He was gone for a bit longer than I expected, but still, not exactly a super prominent character, to be fair.
The Western Church's
There's Count Gloucester, Judith, Hilda, and Claude.
The kingdom's progress.
Glad to hear it. We'd better make sure we can keep up.
It sounds like everyone's pulling their weight over there too. What a relief.
But Claude, what do you propose we actually do? Crossing the Great Bridge of Murden will only land us square in Burgley's territory, home to the Empire's Minister of Military Affairs himself.
I don't get how we can invade the Empire without losing a ton of people.
Simple. We don't really invade. All we have to do is make it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he said they're just trying to draw attention and then go attack Garrett Mach.
Remember, Garrett Mach is the actual prize here. If we get dragged into a mud fight deep in their territory, pulling out won't be an option. The most important thing is convincing them
Don't
they
worry,
need to
Claude,
keep
I
a
never
nice
pull
orderly
out.
flock of troops stationed to defend the Eastern Front.
And how do we do that?
How else? We use the many-headed snake.
Ugh, gross. I don't like the sound of this.
Don't worry, that's just the name of the strategy. It's an old trick they used to pull east of Fodlan.
You know, Myra.
Imagine our army's a many-headed snake, striking at a bunch of different targets all
You
at
never know
once.
exactly where you need to actually be focusing your
Meaning not just
defenses.
the Great Bridge of Murden, but every other bridge that spans the Aramid too. The second the Empire starts trying to sever any one head in particular, we pull it
Interesting.
back and
That would probably require a very strong communication lines, though.
A plan as
So-
arrogant and brazen as our leader himself, and yet an effective one to hear tell of it. At any rate, my opinion bears little weight in this chamber. I leave the decision to you.
We need to consider all our options here. If we really do reclaim Garrett Mach, Fodlan will undoubtedly change. And when it does, our army needs the strength to greet whatever horizon awaits.
Yeah.
Azure Gleam. Reprisal. Having repelled the forces of the Western Church, the Kingdom and Alliance armies joined together to launch a large-scale coordinated attack on the Empire. Preparing to assault a key Imperial position, the Kingdom army uses northeastern
Interesting.
Garrett
So I'm betting this chapter is probably us doing our half of the distraction, and then chapter 12 was probably us attacking Garrett Mach. Which makes me wonder if chapter 12 is where we get it. Maybe chapter 13 is where we get Byleth and Jeralt. It just feels really late. You know?
It's good to see you safely back,
But
I understand matters have begun
maybe
to
it's
settle
chapter
down
11 where we get? I don't know. It just... Again, all bets are off now that it's not chapter 10 like the other two paths for getting Byleth and
I
Jeralt.
believe we finally excised the foul seed of discord from our soil.
Okay.
And the changes at the top of houses Gideon, Mateus, and Elidor should ensure it never takes root again.
So they're keeping their territories then? I would have expected us to remove them completely after what they did.
Actually, same. Honestly.
Such is easier said than done. Our prior situation with House Kleiman took time as well.
Yes. Replacing the head of a territory always brings dissenters crawling out of the woodwork to oppose it.
Yeah, and then you have to find out who to actually put in control of the territory, and then there's the chance that that's not the right thing. There's never exactly an easy solution to things like that.
Chaos behind us. We can't just keep repeating the same mistakes. I must say, though, I'm surprised this all went as smoothly as it did.
I did used to be the eminent Duke Fraldarius, remember?
Yeah, Rodrigo was a pretty prominent leader. Oops.
In any case, we must turn our gaze eastward. How's the Alliance?
Although, you know, he is Felix's dad, so Felix is more than well aware of that.
Gustav's report, Claude is holding out for the perfect opportunity to advance his army. Naturally, they don't favor their chances in a head-on clash with the famed Count Burgleys.
To be fair, I wouldn't either.
For the time being, they intend to feign a deadlock and slowly dwindle away the enemy forces.
It seems the decision to reclaim the monastery was a shrewd one then. It's our best path forward.
I know we're slated to advance on Hevring territory, but shouldn't we hold off till the Alliance can come help us too?
No. On the contrary. If we can show our individual might warrants attention, the Empire will have no choice but to dispatch more troops west.
Okay.
Which should, in turn, ease the burden on the Alliance and their army. Claude and I agreed to as much.
Yeah, if either side caves a bit and doesn't do their job, the other side's going to suffer. Because then the Empire might just be like, oh, well, now we can just focus all our forces on the Alliance or the Kingdom.
If anything, he might be trying to wear us down. Soften us up so he can beat the stuffing out of us.
Yeah, but that's a problem for another time, honestly.
That he would do something like
I
that.
don't. I don't actually for an instant anger it.
Pursuing the same
But
goal.
yeah.
But you're right. Claude's tricky to pin down. You can never really tell what he's plotting. I don't believe we can be too cautious here. We should consider every possible angle.
Again, can't be too careful.
But if the Alliance does try anything, Gustav and the Knights of Seros should be more than enough to thwart their plans.
And again, to be fair, you could consider it only a few members, but they sent like Raphael, Lawrence, you know, a few prominent members of their houses over here.
So,
that might have just been a showing of good face, but I think that does kind of tie their hands against doing something too shady.
We must finish this swiftly, for the sake of all those caught in the middle.
If you don't mind me asking, Your Majesty, do you have it within you to topple the Emperor? I speak not of military prowess, nor the strength of our army. No.
Yeah.
I speak of your emotions.
It's a valid concern, but...
He's got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, she's your stepsister. Anyone would hesitate to cut down their own family.
She is an old friend as well. Though I doubt
Yeah, she
has
really
any
seems to have like her
recollection
memories erased or something. But again,
Rodrigue, do you
I was
truly
really
think
thinking,
my
okay,
hand
well, they're not going to kill any of the three leaders in any of the paths.
who cleaved my own uncle's head from his shoulders?
And then, like... But I also thought we were going to group Byleth and Jeralt on the same path every time, and the Kingdom path really has diverged from the others to some extent.
There is still much I must ask of her.
Really, really curious stuff, though.
In a way, she and I are no different. starting wars of our own volition, sending countless innocent lives to the feet of the goddess. However noble one's reasoning may be, a deed like that cannot go unpunished.
I mean, it goes back to the time old like sayings, like a life that's been taken can't be given back.
And one seeking revenge at that, I will take her life.
Okay.
I'm pleased to hear it.
Yeah, it's good to know that your leader has that kind of resolve, because if he still wasn't sure at this point, huge issue.
A letter?
Okay.
One from Lady Patricia. I uncovered it during our inquiry of
Patricia.
Viscount Elador.
Is that his mother?
From my stepmother.
Yeah, stepmother.
Forgive the
Okay.
intrusion.
So Edelgard's mother,
I've
Dimitri's
already
stepmother.
examined its contents. The letter contains no new information of note. That said, I expect you'll find the subject matter quite disturbing indeed, Your Majesty.
Does it actually implicate...
I will read it later.
Oh, he says later now. Let's put it off. Great. It's a little bit concerning, actually.
Oh, Dimitri, have you read that letter from your stepmom yet?
Oh, okay. Was it like the next scene? That's good.
Yes, I have. It was a missive requesting the then Viscount Elador's cooperation in her conspiracy against my father.
Oh, okay.
She claimed he would have much to gain from the king's elimination, all while shrewdly expressing sympathy with his objections to the reforms.
That's
I
interesting.
had it investigated for signs of forgery as a precaution, but such a search returned nothing. The letter
Interesting.
is authentic.
Meaning your stepmom was a willing participant in the tragedy of Dusk.
Ooh. And that might actually, if Edelgard did, yeah, if Edelgard did actually have something to do with Lady, I didn't know her name was Lady Patricia until just now. I don't know if it was mentioned, but if Edelgard really did have something to do with Lady Patricia's death, and that was true and Cornelia wasn't lying about that, then maybe she spoke true, yeah, but maybe it was for a justifiable reason.
Memory I hold of my stepmother, she was always looking past me. As if the one she truly cared for was somewhere else entirely.
That's actually really sad, too.
That's horrible. I never knew my real mom, but the woman who adopted me loved me with all
Yeah,
her
your
heart.
family.
That's how it should be.
It was horrible, yes, but what of it? There is no guarantee a parent will come to love their child.
Dang, Dimitri, that's... This is why I'm glad the support conversations tend to be pretty wholesome. Because then they hit us with stuff like this, and it's so sad.
I had once thought her among those I would avenge. Yet now she lies squarely in the path of my fury.
Pretty heavy stuff, yeah.
I can tell you're troubled as well.
You can see straight through me, huh? Guess that's what 3 years together will do. It's Myson, that dark mage from before. He was familiar with my power somehow. And yeah, I know you said you trust me, but I'm not so sure I even trust myself anymore. I just can't stand not knowing the truth. Who am I, really?
Yeah. That's gotta be really, like,
No matter what answer awaits,
disconcerting,
I
you
will
know?
continue to place my trust in you.
Again, like, Dimitri's the only one of the three leaders. Like, Claude said he trusted us, but it kind of felt a bit iffy to me. Edelgard kind of, you know, Edelgard, Hubert didn't really, but still.
Naturally. Failing that, forgive me. It helps no one to utter such
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it doesn't help to say it.
It's fine. If nothing else, the threat of death is good motivation for me to get this power under control.
Yeah, technically.
Have you lost your mind? It almost sounds like you'd be okay with him killing you.
I don't want to die, of course. But if it was between that and killing a friend, I know which one I'd pick.
Okay. That's really sad, but to some extent, you know, there's some sense behind that. Again, it doesn't make it any less sad. In fact, that maybe makes that a little bit more sad, but still, you know. Interesting. Yeah, if this is just the diversion against the Empire, I almost would guess that we don't recruit anyone new here in this chapter. And again, I'm just so confused.
What about this?
What about this?
What do you think of this?
What about this?
Might as well just, none of these are important to us right now. We don't need to expand any other facilities right now. and we don't need to worry about ingredients really, but still. Not a big concern.
Supplies are the lifeblood of any army.
That's the wrong button. Okay. Real quick though, we don't have too much gold, but I just want to see real quick what weapon we have Shamir on, because she did not feel very strong. She had a Brave Bow +9. That's surprising to me. I didn't think she even had something that strong. Bow of Zoltan will be stronger, most likely with a few upgrades. So her current weapon is 163 might. Bow of Zoltan, let's see. Range boost critical, range plus luck factor. Range plus sounds interesting. But critical dexterity factor is probably just outright stronger, I'd imagine.
Is this it?
I don't know the exact specifics behind those factors, but let's upgrade this weapon for her real quick. Stick it on her, because she's probably what we're going to be using as our 4th member until we get Byleth.
Is this it?
Oh wait, that's going to cost too much money. We probably have some bullion as well to sell, but again, I'm thinking I'm going to do a couple support conversations here and maybe one more this chapter, and then we'll kind of see afterwards where that lands us. And during that time, I'll probably, you know, level up weapons and such, but we are starting to run a little bit light on supplies. Shmir, Breakbow over 2. Bow of Zoltan. Bow of Zoltan seems to be kind of one of those endgame, like, instead of silver weapons or brave weapons, it does seem to be the Zoltan weapons. So, we'll work on that.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Ooh, only... Oh, okay, I was going to say only 1 point. All 8. That's always nice. We're obviously not being efficient by keeping some people that haven't quote-unquote maxed out their classes, but I also just don't like spending like 10 years between every point. Only person that I think should have a level up should have been Catherine Immortal Savant, so we'll do that here. Yeah, okay. Alrighty.
Can't wait to see how you do.
Let's see.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Let's try this. There's so many. I'm just genuinely surprised at how many people we have on this path. It's crazy.
Yep. Oh, but this is...
Come back whenever you're hungry.
And we'll go do... I keep forgetting to, well, let's do our Chore Master stuff first. I just haven't been worrying about expeditions a whole lot. They're neat and all, but it doesn't seem like it's that much of a concern. In all honesty. It seems like a good way, like the tea parties in Three Houses, to get a lot of support points with one specific person very fast. But in all reality, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Let's see. Yeah, these two are already almost a day. That's interesting.
No big deal. Indeed.
We all must do our share to make yourself useful.
That's why I was just so surprised too with the direction that they took. I was just surprised with the direction they took with Shamir and Catherine in this game, because they were always like that duo in Three Houses, no matter what path you took. Whereas here they were kind of like, yeah, no, it's not the case anymore. But to be fair, like Alois joins Gerald's mercenary band, a few other things like that. Just kind of crazy how stuff like that happens, honestly.
We all must do our share to make yourself useful.
Yeah, with these chores, I mean, I'm not being super efficient with these either. I'm just kind of going with, as long as there's 1 or 2 bars there that are still making room. For example, like we already have A rank with Marianne, but here, you know, she still has room to go with Ash, and we still have room to go with Ash, so I don't mind doing that.
We all must do our share to make yourself useful.
Oh, here we go, that's a good one. Both this and set it. There's just so many of these inter-support conversations too that, like, once you get through like some of the first initial support conversation between Shez and someone, you can kind of figure out what they might talk about. But then there's some people that I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I think it was Happy and Bernadetta, I remember talked about like specific types of plants, just stuff like that that I just like, oh, I had no idea they'd even talk about something like that. But I want to grab a few more Vanguard whistles here right now. 15 should be good. We've got 30. That should get us through the end of the path, I would assume. Do I want to do any more support conversations real quick? Oh, we have so many. Not really. I'm just making it worse for me later on when I have to sit through a ton of them, but... Raiders from the north. What's that? These three. Okay, so that's a new one. In fact, I think of the ones so far, the only one that isn't new is this one. Because obviously Gatekeeper's new. These two we didn't have before. We didn't have Catherine before. Didn't have the Knights. Didn't have the Knights. Yeah, so that there's only one paralog so far that is actually completely we've done before. So that's interesting. And a shop as always. And a shop is another thing I've not been super concerned about. You can oftentimes get like some of those permanent upgrade items from her. But the more and more I go, the more and more I realize it's really not that necessary. Sure. Changing the battle plan is, you know, unless it's something you really want, it gives you free support points, it gives you free morale, such and such. Don't really worry about it too much.
What you think?
We're at the point too where we're not really gonna need any more like any more seals of any kind, really, unless we want to start giving people random classes and such. Try them out on that, which we could. I usually don't, just because I think they usually design characters really well around their you know, around the classes that were made for them. It looks like we have free core juices. I do not remember if those carry from chapter to chapter, so we will use those real quick because the forge is kind of expensive. Alright, might as well do another chore too. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, it gives you 1 or 2 points every now here and there, and so if I go back and forth every single time, it eats up a lot of time. We did that our first playthrough, but it's just not a concern right now. But I know in the second path I was a little bit bad about skipping out on some of the chore points, and that does give you some free renown, which is helpful. So maybe shouldn't skip out on that. I did just realize let's go sell whatever bullions we have so that we can actually, I think it was reforge Shamir's weapon potentially. Wonder how many we have. Do we not have any? Really? Oh. Well, that's awkward. Okay. Well, I really don't know if those... I mean, I could grind out some levels here, but like I said, I just want to finish out this chapter, I think. Maybe we'll do a few support conversations at the end. I don't know.
Hey there. Need something?
Yeah, let's see. Did we have anywhere else to go on this weapon? Unless we can use the, Oh, no, we did have... Okay, never mind. I'm done. We had another 10 to go. That's 40 might. Good about durability. Perfect. Actually, that worked out really well.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
Alright, let's... you wanna... I'm gonna do this just for the extra strategy resources. Might as well get Anna. We just never visit her. Don't run to the right place. Thank you. Greetings. I'm pretty sure if you visit, like, if you have Anna and you visit her on a chapter, her inventory does... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to do this extra stage. I'm pretty sure that inventory does kind of skip over to the next chapter when you have her. I might be wrong on that, but that's really what it seemed like. And worst comes to worst, like I said, I'm just missing out on a little bit of stuff. She does give those permanent upgrade items, but we have a bunch in our inventory right now because I'm just not concerned about using them. Oh, I just paid to restock the item shop that we didn't go to. Fine. The Blitz of the Western Empire, huh?
Houses Gert, Esser, Locken, and Ox. I can't believe we'll be facing them all at once.
Well, you are facing the entirety of the Empire, so...
From their standpoint, this is an invasion, and they are the ones to repel it.
Again, but you have, like, Monica and Hubert. It just... I'm so confused, like... Monica and Hubert, too. Hubert was the first one that came to mind, but now I'm thinking about it with how obsessed Monica was with Edelgard as well.
We would all do
Are they really just gonna stand aside and be like, yeah, no, it's fine. We're gonna let, you know, Baron von Eyre or whatever take over the Empire, while Edelgard clearly something is wrong.
Feeling guilty about this isn't gonna change anything. We still have to fight, and we still have to win.
You're right. This is the only way we'll ever get peace back in Fodlan.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta consider, they're the ones who started the war, and now they're literally basically destroying their own people. At this point,
I don't regret any of it.
you really gotta wonder if half the members of the Empire aren't questioning it themselves.
That's led us to the battle ahead.
Lasting peace is waiting for you on the other side of this fight. You've got my power to see you through it.
It doesn't matter what any of us say, Boar. You know what needs to be done. We'll have plenty of time to grieve once this is all over. So stick to the plan and don't look back.
We stand here because we believe in you, Your Majesty.
I see. I'm heartened to know I have your trust.
That's nice.
Whenever I've lost my way, all of you have been there to help me recover it.
It's the least we can do, both as your subjects and your friends.
Everything seems to be in order, Your Majesty. Sorry, am I interrupting something here?
No, you're good, Rodrigue.
No, we've just finished. We will need your strength in this battle, Rodrigue.
And my strength you'll have. Let's show these Imperial scoundrels what a mistake it is to cross the people of Fargus.
Okay, so this is where we didn't have constants. Oh, we do need to. See, perfect example. We need to go get another 2 stages finished so we can recruit Linhardt and Constance here. That's why it's nice that we can back out, though, eh? At the very least, I want to make sure we have enough resources to recruit everyone. What's another Rodrigue's ambush? I mean, we won't be using it, but kind of crazy though. If you want to persuade everyone, how many
I see.
you know, you miss out on a lot of resources actually. I don't care. I've just been picking Shez on a lot of those because eventually, if I do reclass Shez, it'd be fun to just have all the combat arts leveled anyways. Yeah, we just need to make sure we have enough points to persuade him. But again, I think there was only a possible 70 points there if we did that last stage as well. And so, you know, we would have only had 10 to use, even if we'd gone the full way, to still be able to recruit these 2. And I just don't know why you would not recruit the extra characters unless you really didn't like someone. 18 minutes, 2k enemies? Okay. Let's get going. I didn't expect there to be recruitable characters though, like I was saying, on this particular fight. Wasn't something I thought was super likely, but once again an instance of me just being blatantly wrong. Feel like that happens quite a bit though.
We must make haste and take the main hall.
Duke Gert is holed up in the main hall, but capturing strongholds and besieging the enemy should draw him out.
All right, let's aim for the closest stronghold first. Easy does it.
On to the next ones.
We got this strong. It looks like the Dimitri's in this one. It's weird having him be a foot unit after so long. Seems easy. It does seem a little bit too easy, but we're also using severely overleveled characters, so eh.
That should put us at ease for the time being. Here they are, right on schedule. All units, move out and take the kingdom forces down.
To be fair, we weren't exactly here to engage them too. Like we were really here just to distract them, but see how this goes.
General finally shows. We've got to put them on the defensive.
It does kind of seem though like Claude has his whole like he's explaining the many-headed snake strategy. We're gonna just kind of bob in and out, attack a bunch of areas, whereas on our front we're like, nope, we're just gonna go full ham. We're gonna attack one area and then we're gonna distract them and then probably retreat to invade Garreg Mach. Just interesting to see how even as allies they take things very differently, which is honestly pretty cool. Just a couple of sword masters here. There we go. want to make sure we stop both of them. I still don't quite understand the aggro range sometimes on units in this game, because sometimes they turn around and fight you from super far away, and sometimes they don't. Let's see. Yeah, I think that did genuinely make a difference upgrading her weapon a fair amount. Because that feels like it did noticeably more damage than it did last stage. And this should be a higher level stage than last one, so that's good. We attack the right side.
All seems to be going too smoothly.
Yeah, a little odd. There's Monica. Are they trying to bait us in? That actually could be scary. So, ow.
Felix, don't break ranks.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a... I don't know if I want to go so far as to say maybe like guerrilla warfare, but this does seem like a tactic to bait him out. Where is... Perfect, I was going to say, she's the fastest. And now we have to run up the center. Yeah, it looks like it's blocked off if you go any way other than up the center here. Interesting. Unless there was a gatekeeper right outside, but I don't think there was. Oh, there's a gatekeeper right here, so... Kind of interesting to use Shamir, though, after a while. So we used her in our first path, but then we really didn't in the second, even though we had her for a good chunk of it. In fact, of the 3 paths, I think this is by far the latest that you get her. Because in the Alliance path, you get her on, like, Chapter 4. In the Empire path, you get her when she and Catherine try to assassinate Edelgard, which I don't remember exactly what chapter it was, but it wasn't super far. I don't think. Oh, there's Hanneman. I'm a little surprised that he doesn't seem to be a playable character, actually, since the Manuela and Dorothea were, you know. I guess maybe, was Yuritsa playable in Empire Path? I don't remember. I think he was. Yeah. To be fair, I also think Hanneman was probably the least popular of the, well, I don't know if you could really count Yuritsa as a professor in 3 houses, but compared to, obviously, Byleth and Manuela, you know. There's Constance, too.
I fear that I'll just get in your way and ruin the wonderful strategy.
I feel so bad for, like, daytime Constance, I guess we could call her. But then I feel like I'm just terrified of the nighttime Constance. I don't know if that's just me. Why is Linhardt all the way down there? Can I just warp down here? Yeah, okay. That's convenient. Hi, Linhardt. Really, did Mercedes have a good relationship with Constance? I don't recall that being the case, but, you know, sometimes happenstance is helpful.
I won't ask you to switch sides, but maybe we could stop fighting at least.
You could have said as much before you beat me up.
Would you have listened, though, Linhardt? Because to be fair, we are in Empire territory. Not quite the same thing. And, you know, let's order some of these units to actually go, you know, attack strongholds.
I've got it.
Is there a gatekeeper blocking these places off, though? Like, Baron Ox is apparently there. Hanneman's there. Like, I don't see gatekeepers. Manuela's there. Interesting. It's weird. Maybe it's only after we recruit Constance. I always find it weird, Jill, when they, like, give you this objective and then it's gated off until you do something else. How dare we? It's almost like you've spent how long invading the other 2? You know? Like, I just a thought.
When will it ever...
Ooh, I just realized they're attacking that stronghold. Let's send
Time to go to work.
Catherine down to take care of these warlocks. I don't know if we lose those forts. I mean, we've got the exclamation point down there, but I don't know if that just means that's what they're attacking.
Please, let's stop this. I could I'd never bring myself to kill you. So the goddess wishes me to suffer even further embarrassment.
Oh, I don't know, Constance.
Live for this.
It matters not how many rank and file soldiers fall. I am the Viscount, and I must not die here.
Okay. I retreated. What a inspiring leader, eh?
The enemy's really serious about this. They're sending in so many soldiers.
Yeah, well, it is kind of personal for them now. This is their territory. Just kind of funny that they're getting... Again, these are the people that have been invading everywhere else for how long, and now they're like, oh, they've turned the tables on us. Kind of funny. Can't say I really expected anything else, but still. Oh, why? Oh my... Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, though. All three of them are in the bottom right corner, and I don't know why. That's kind of random. How are we looking on time? Oh, we're fine. I don't know, like... Because I don't want to sit there and, you know, order them every single time I want to do anything. But then they just kind of, like, run all the way to these random places, and I don't really get it. Oh well. Oh wow, that's a lot of reinforcements actually. I wish we had Ches here. It's fine. Let's use this double hit thing. Wonder if it applies to skills. I can't tell. That is a lot of numbers though. Oh, we had a... So that's Monarch's father though. Interesting.
He's blunted after all. Forgive me, my dear Monica.
The right side of the map still doesn't seem like it's opened up though.
You didn't have to.
Oh, did we just kill their monarchs? Or did he retreat? Because... Yeah.
My mistake led to my father's
Oh, he
death.
did die.
I shall have revenge.
I'm sorry, Monica. Again, at the same time, it's... I don't know if it's just me. I obviously, like I mentioned, I don't want to be killing anyone in this story. But it is a Fire Emblem game. But at the end of the day, the Empire's the one who instigated the war. You know? If any of the three factions you're not going to feel bad for, it's... That would be them. Okay, that's when the gates open. There we go. Who's the closest? We're literally all in this corner again. Gee.
I can't die here. I won't.
Okay, well she retreated. She's fine.
The battle isn't over. We must prepare for our next maneuver.
Let's use Hanneman. Vaughn, SR.
I shall make them work for it, if nothing else.
Oh, I'm gonna work real hard for it, Hanneman. I'm gonna walk right up to you and I'm gonna push A. It's lots of hard work. Let me tell you, I'm putting in my work for the day.
Hanneman, you're looking a little worse for wear. Let me heal you. Can never be too careful.
Oh. Is he gonna... Oh, okay. Well. I was like, wait, he didn't go down.
Let us deal with Manuela first.
Oh. Well, I wish you'd said that before I... before I beat him twice over, but... Fair enough. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought you would have actually put the effort in to save me? That's how you know you're great friends.
To see a familiar face across the battlefield. That said, I will not back down.
Surely Hanneman and Manuela don't die. I kind of doubt it. I'm sure they'll just retreat too. They didn't die in the other two paths, so it just... Yeah, see. They'd be sprawled on the ground if they died. That seems to be the very common occurrence. If a character died when you beat him, you know. Whether or not they'll be recruitable is another story, but... Yeah, see. they'll be like kneeling or like, you know, obviously like they'll either look exhausted or they'll be lying down because they're on the floor dead. So there's that. Now all that's left is to clean up these other strongholds.
They made a very formidable duel. I wonder if our paths will cross again in the future.
Not yet. At least I can die in my hometown.
Take out this stronghold. There we go. Alright, so there's one more stronghold, couple more enemies up here. We do have the key. I really do not pay attention to grabbing the chest in this game. It just has never seemed like a huge issue.
A general ought to seek vengeance for his subordinates. Be careful what you wish for. I've quite a lot of deaths to avenge by now.
Kind of funny, Rodri just yells at him. What are you doing hiding away? Shouldn't you be out here? Fighting?
Must be protected at all costs.
Ooh, at all costs, huh? Well, good luck stopping me from running over here and pushing A on him. Hate to break it to you, but I'm probably going to win.
It's the first claimed by the flames of war.
Did you really?
I see they're putting up one last bit of futile resistance. Too bad it's not going to work.
Oh, it's not going to work. You are correct. Really? Here, have this. Wait, what?
Stay calm.
Oh, it's another healing mechanic. This hasn't really been present in other paths, actually. I'm a little surprised. Ah, just push A again. They did it twice in one stage after we really had never seen, like... We've obviously seen where, like, past a certain point you can't, like, actually finish off an enemy if, like, dialogue has to go through or something. But I don't think we'd seen just straight up, you know, like, oh yeah, no, they're gonna get healed, and then you have to kill this other unit first.
To be honest, I'm not sure how much more we can endure.
Yeah, I'm sure we're starting to get a little bit worn thin. But again, the point was just to distract the Empire. So, I feel like just by taking this, we probably, you know, succeeded in that aspect.
I hope I can.
Alright. Authority shield, huh? Heart constants, nice. Alright, real quick, I'm going to pause the dialogue and go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Fought like they were possessed out there. One wrong move and we'd have been finished.
Alright.
Imperial nobles will battle to the bitter end to protect their homes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Once you're defending your own home turf, it's a little bit different from invading, I would say.
Everyone we face from this point forward will strike at us with the same vigor.
I guess it's kill or be killed, huh?
Yeah. But again, how far are we going into Empire territory before we double back and go to Garrett
Do
Mach?
not complain.
I'm confused.
We're only doing this to restore peace to Fodlan, remember?
I can't say I blame you for worrying. This is a difficult campaign in every sense of the word. For one, the unfamiliar terrain greatly favors our enemy.
Home field advantage.
And however noble our cause, the guilt of invading our neighbors will always weigh heavy on our minds.
Be that as it may, we can't turn back now. If the kingdom and empire cannot coexist, then there is no other choice but to fight.
He's right. We all know what'll happen to Fargus if we just sit back and let Adrestia do what they want.
Yeah, it's just tough. Again, they obviously don't know the extent to which, like, what's going on with Edelgard. The fact that she's basically powerless right now. It's kind of crazy. It's also kind of sad to think that there was, like, a 6-month time skip, so, you know, That's basically like being in a coma, no? Like, I don't quite myself. I mean, we don't ourselves know exactly what's going on with her, but she seemed to be like not even aware of what was going on.
When the sun sets on this war, only our king will be fettered by the vile moniker of invader.
Don't put this all on him.
It's not on Dimitri, but I think that, generally speaking, that's not exactly incorrect, you know? In history books, it's probably going to go down as the leader, you know, that led it, the leader and the kingdom maybe, but,
obviously,
you know, just kind of how it goes.
Oh, Rodrigue. You're up late.
Ah, yes. Preparing strategy proposals for tomorrow's war council. The more legwork I can do in advance, the smoother the process
There you
will
go.
go. Thus,
Rodrigue seemed like he did a very good job at, you know, his position before he passed it on to Felix.
Collapse from overwork were all our councils an unchecked slog.
He barely sleeps as it is, right? Sometimes I see him face down on his desk. I guess catching what little shut-eye he can.
Yes, he reminds me of the late king in that sense. Lambert too ascended the throne at a young age. Too young, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And struggled greatly to adapt to the many rigors of governance.
Guess you two knew each other a long time then. I heard you
Oh,
went to the
okay.
academy
That's
together,
interesting.
at least.
They were like another generation of Blue Lions together. That's really cool.
Is Dimitri really that much like his dad?
You would hardly be able to tell them apart were they in the same room now.
Oh.
Though Lambert did have a somewhat shorter temper.
Oh, you should see post-time skip.
They're birds of a feather.
Insane Dimitri in 3 houses.
The two of us are as different as the blackest night and the brightest day.
I don't think they're that far apart, but the thing is, Rodrigue seems a lot more relaxed than Felix is.
You're really not very similar at all.
Yeah, aside from looks like.
Your looks aside-
Personality-wise, Rodrigue is very much like even-tempered.
Wondering where his stubbornness came from? That was entirely his mother.
Okay.
That said, he has come to resemble me over the years, though mostly in ways I had hoped to avoid.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Meaning what?
He can't live without some great purpose in life urging him forward.
Oh.
There is no peace in such an existence. I know, because
I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a quote-unquote purpose in life, but I can kind of get that.
waking moment to serving him, supporting him, and when he was lost, so too was my reason for being.
Oh,
I had no choice but to search for something else to propel me forth.
that's actually
In the
really
end,
sad.
And after much consideration, I chose to devote myself anew to Lambert, to seeing through the promise I had made him.
Almost like a my life in service to the king, literally type thing.
That should his son ever lose his way, I would be the one to set him back on the proper course.
Okay.
But I won't be here forever. Thankfully, His Majesty is blessed with friends like you. Ones who are willing to
Rodrigue doesn't look that old. He looks middle-aged, but he doesn't seem like old.
I feel like Dimitri's been helping me this whole time, not the other way around. But it's all a give and take in the end, right? You've done more than your fair share for me, too.
I'm glad to hear that, truly. But to be frank, my own shortcomings have grown alarmingly clear of late.
I don't think that's necessarily
It's not enough to simply
the
stand
case.
by his side and support.
There's only so much that one person can do. And seriously, I think Rodrigue's done more than pull his fair weight. Like, even when he stepped down from his former position, it was to kind of help take the blame and cushion the fall from some things,
At the
you
end
know?
of the day, he and I are
So-
nothing more than His Majesty's retainers. We cannot view Fodlin through his eyes.
Yeah, but no one can.
But you stand on
Oh,
equal
do we?
footing with him as a trusted friend. Such a bond is a rare thing indeed.
That's very flattering of Rodrigue to say, but we are just
Dimitri's my
we're a
leader,
mercenary, you know?
But he's a friend first.
Hmm.
Probably helps that I'm not part of the nobility.
Though that does, yeah, that gives a
Is
different
that
viewpoint.
The root of it, I wonder. If I recall, you were
Yep.
born in Alliance
Mhm.
territory, yes?
That's been mentioned multiple
In
times.
a remote mountain town off in Ordelia lands. Honestly, I don't remember much more than that. And with this weird power and all, it's hard to say for sure where
And you know,
I really came from.
It's interesting too because clearly Shess has very, very lovely memories of the time she spent with her adoptive mother in Ordelia lands, or wherever it was. But when we went back to, like, when Ordelia was being invaded during the Golden Wildfire Path, and we had to go back from our, you know, conquest to help out back there, Shez didn't really have, like, any memories or anything like that. So it must have either been somewhere really remote in Ordelia lands, or maybe just, again, it was less the place and more the people, which would also be, you know, that'd make a lot of sense.
Those things, your background, your abilities, don't matter much in the end.
Okay.
I can't blame you for being curious, of course. But we haven't put our faith in you because of whose child you are. The relationships you've built in your time here transcend whatever blood may flow in your veins.
Huh, what a wonderful human being.
I like Roderick.
Anyway, seeing as you're here, I was hoping you might be willing to share some of your wisdom with me.
Roderick, like, I get that he's literally Felix's dad, but Roderick just seems like that cool uncle, you know? I don't know if that's just me.
And where in that position our archers should take up posts.
Now we're talking. Let's see.
Azure Gleam, a trick of the goddess. Central Adrestia is soundly defended under the command of Regent Ire. However, attacks from the Kingdom and Alliance erode the Empire's defenses in both the East and West. Amidst all this, General Randolph enlists a certain mercenary company to Adrestia's cause. Their forces
this might be it.
Hevring territory, the Empire's final bastion.
This might be the chapter that Byleth and Jeralt get recruited. It's a couple of chapters later, but again, if it's only 16 chapters,
There'll be nothing to stop the Kingdom's army from rolling straight
kind of
to
late
the
actually.
That's right. The seat of Hevring's power, Mazgus, lies east of here, past the bottleneck in the Agma Mountains. It's essentially on Inbar's doorstep, the western gateway to the sea.
Yeah, this has to be it. It's already chapter 12.
Count Hevring and his men will make their last stand there. That is, if the Lions of Fargus can get through us first. And of course, we will make every possible effort.
It's interesting that this is another path though where they seem to be recruitable on the same stage, and they're directly connected to Randolph and potentially his sister. I can't remember his sister's name off the top of my head.
Indeed. And we've lost
Just interesting.
many of our most formidable generals, including Marquis Vestra. I've not the slightest idea what's befallen our forces at the capital, nor in the east for that matter.
Yes, the whole army's been feeling a little off lately. Thankfully, you and your squadron still have your heads up.
Randolph really did seem like an upstanding, like, person,
State of affairs out there.
but
Hardly any dependable leaders remain.
he also seems very much doomed to die,
Senseless looting and slaughter.
no matter what.
Or compete to see who can reduce more villages to ash. Each and every one of them handpicked by His Excellency, the Regent.
Yeah.
Are you sure you should be spilling secrets like that?
Probably not, but
I'd like you to have
oh,
the
okay.
full picture. Your company holds the key to victory in your hands. And with it, our very lives.
Interesting.
Oh, but keep all that under wraps if you would. It would bring the morale of my
That's fair.
troops crashing to new lows were that to get out.
I mean, their morale's got to be so low again, just
Usually
keeping in
mercs
mind
are
what's going on.
for an army, not full-on replacements. But it is what it is. In any case, we'll get the job done so long as you're paying.
Jeralt, should I perish in this fight, you can consider
Oh.
your contract
Oh.
terminated.
This is 100%, like 100. If I wasn't sure before, I'm sure now. Chapter 12 is where we recruit them. That line right there made it very clear.
Supporting the Empire in its foul descent into depravity.
Randolph.
It was Fleisch, that's what it was. Yeah, that made it very clear. Because that's exactly the point they brought up in the other pass. Well, our employer isn't here anymore, so you wanna, like, can we stick with you?
But it will bother me less once I'm on the battlefield.
If you say so. The war and the state it's in, the kingdom is throwing everything they've got at this thing. I don't know if it's that or something else, but I've got a bad feeling. So watch yourself out there.
I will. You do the same.
Oh, right. I've been meaning to give you this. Never used to be without it. Cuts like
It's
a
his
dream.
Knight Captain sword.
Swords like this are given to captains of the Knights of Seros, and mine was just
You'd sit there and wonder why he wasn't using it. Maybe because it's a symbol of the past. He doesn't want to be recognized as a former Knight of Seros, but still, I mean, he still had it,
That was
you
a
know?
lifetime ago. I don't plan on swinging this sword ever again.
I mean, if it's a good sword, you know?
But are you sure you
don't
want
know.
to give it away? It must be quite special to you.
Byleth is literally his daughter, though.
I'd be happiest seeing you get some use out of it.
Why not?
Thank you. I'll do that.
Nice.
Be good to it, all right?
Alright, that does mean we 100% have to full clear this chapter to get enough points. Probably going to need specific strategies. I don't know if I've learned from the other two paths, but we'll see.
I hear tell he's related to the Empire's Count Burgleys.
Hmm.
To complicate matters further, he's hired Jeralt's mercenaries to assist in their fight.
Them again, huh? Can't say I'm surprised.
The Imperial army has gathered their forces in Hevring territory, with said mercenaries composing the core of their offense.
Okay.
I expect they'll engage us in the woodlands, an ideal location for the guerrilla warfare they specialize in.
Then we'll have to look out for traps and ambushes as we advance. More than usual, that is.
They're placing a great deal of faith in Jeralt, trusting the front.
But Jeralt is like a legendary mercenary, you know? Kind of makes sense.
Perhaps there are no other generals for them to
That
rely
too,
on.
you know? That too.
This is our chance then. We'll be in a great spot if we can land a decisive blow on the Empire.
Absolutely. They're bound to start feeling the heat over in Enbar once we get a solid foothold here in Hevring territory.
Yes, and the enemy is surely well aware of that fact. No doubt that's precisely why Jeralt is among their ranks.
He and his company are incredible fighters. But there's more to it than that. They also have immense discipline. As long as they can afford the cost, I can see why the Imperials would trust them over some of their less experienced generals. I didn't expect us to be facing them again
So soon. We haven't fought them in like a hot second in this path. It's been a while.
I wish we could fight alongside them for once instead.
You will get that wish, though.
We should probably just steer clear of them entirely. There's no point throwing
Is that foreshadowing? Do we need to avoid them again? So, just a quick synopsis. We did it on Golden Wildfire the first time because they made it very clear. Like, we'd obviously had to full clear the chapter, but like, we had the right strategies if we had to have the right strategies. But it was just a very, very bluntly obvious point of like, Arvel was saying, fight Byleth right now at some point in the stage, and then Claude was saying, no, let's retreat, bait him in. And so obviously I did what Claude said because that was very clearly the way to recruit Byleth, not attacking him. In the Kingdom Path, we had to take a very specific strategy, which is why we failed the first time, because we didn't full clear the map. And then the second time we failed was because we were actually not supposed to confront Byleth at all, and in fact, that stage we had to kill Rodrigue on the Empire Path. So I don't know if there's going to be any kind of conditions like that. I haven't looked it up. I did have to, after we failed it twice, I did have to look up the Kingdom one, but that was, not the Kingdom one, sorry, the Empire one in Scarlet Blaze. I have not looked up anything on the Kingdom one. I want to go into it blind. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously full clear the map with Merc Whistle, or sorry, whatever it is. I always just think of Merc Whistles. Right up to the stage. And then next time, maybe we'll do some, we'll do some support conversations. I'll do a bunch of like gold farming and stuff. And then next time we'll just hop straight into trying to recruit Byleth.
All we've got to do is take down their
and
general,
Jeralt.
Randolph, and the mercenaries will scatter.
Okay. So it looks like it's going to be a mission where Randolph is doomed to die. We probably don't want to confront. This really does make me think like this is going to be a kill Randolph, don't confront Byleth mission again.
You'd like to handle it. I'll still be in your corner helping you every step of the way.
Okay.
Whatever we decide to do, we will need a sound strategy if we are going to win.
Strategy, huh? Maybe something like a huge surprise attack on the Imperial positions.
A bold suggestion, Sylvain. You remind me of your father when he was young.
I'm not
Nice.
sure if that's supposed to be a compliment.
That was
or
clearly
what.
meant to be a compliment, Sylvain. Don't.
Margrave's been managing the conflict
Yeah,
in the
I was
north
gonna
for
say, don't-
decades now, hasn't he?
Don't be too sad about it.
I'd say it's a great honor to be compared to him.
Ah, such fine memories. All of his strategies seem to
Just
involve
Rena.
sending me and Lambert
Ah, such great
frustrating
memories. He's
and
such a great
wrong.
tactician. All of them seem to send two of us
Yeah,
on our
going
own.
Straight to the suicide charge every time doesn't sound all that strategic to me.
That's fine.
I have full faith that our combined might will be up to the task at hand. We must succeed.
Oh. What's this? Oh, it's just a map. That at the end made me think something else was gonna come up there, but oh well. Yeah, we're probably gonna need to full clear this map to make sure that we have every bit of strategy resources and any. I mean, I'm not gonna last time, so I don't even remember if there was a specific strategy we did need on the Golden Wildfire one, but it was the top one on Scarlet Blaze. So speed, resistance, dexterity. I don't know what speed does. I know resistance isn't that important. I haven't felt. Let's do dex.
Now then.
All right. Proper supplies.
Supplies are the lifeblood of any army. Everything has its use.
Strategist.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
Wonder if we have the Ashen Wolves paralog now. Night of One. Okay, Ashen Wolves Reunion we do. Okay, so Night of Reunion's probably new. Yeah, see, this one's not. So these two are old ones. That's definitely new. So far, just these two are the old ones that I'll just clear in my own time. So we've got a few paralogs to do. We've obviously got the rest of the story to do. I thought we were, with how fast we tore through the first bit, I really thought we were closing in on the end of this path quite fast. We might need another couple streams to do this. Let's go ahead and just...
I have an idea.
Charm? No. Ordinarily, I don't think it's ordinarily a huge waste to switch, because like I said, last time you get free morale, you get free support points and such, but I don't think Charm's that important as far as I know. What we're gonna do is we're gonna Vanguard. It's Vanguard Whistle, not Merc Whistles. Merc Whistle is the one we gave to like Catherine and such. I just can never remember off the top of my head because I'm dumb. Okay, so that stage in the top, the green one I'll have to do manually. That's fine. Okay. So here's the plan. Let's collect all these. Umbral Steel, I think, is what we needed. Garthian. That's what we used. I want to say upgrade the Knight Sword, actually. That Byleth just got from Gauntlets. I don't ever use Gauntlets. Like I was saying, I mean, if it's something that I'm not worried about, I've just been giving it to Byleth in case, not Byleth, Shez, in case I ever want to just try some stupid, random, you know, build or class. Just clear through all these, and then, like I said, we're just gonna leave it here. I'll clear up that last stage on my own time, probably farm some resources and such. And then, what's this do? Raise support points? Okay. Maybe Felix's we didn't take up as a, you know, tactic plan there. 4 juices, okay. Make sure you use that. That's just an extra battle. And there we go. Back to the camp. We're gonna have so many, there were so many fights on that map, actually. There's gonna be a lot of strategy resources to use, which is interesting. Alright, as far as everything else though, like the activity points and stuff, I'll use those. I think what we'll do before we end the stream is just, like we've done in the past, let's get through a few of the support conversations, because we have so many built up that I'd like to clear a bunch of them out. And then that'll leave us hopefully in a good spot. I don't know how many we'll do, because we have a ton. But yeah, the rest of this stream, I'm probably at least 20-30 minutes, I'd say, with how many we have. We'll just clear through some of these support conversations, and then, like I was saying, I'll clear out that last stage, do some grinding on the previous stages and stuff. My off-stream grinding, I never do any story progression or anything like that. I literally just, like, grind out some resources, maybe do, like, in the case of these New Game Pluses, I also do the extra stages, but let's hop into some support conversations. Oh, and just quick mention, if the VOD did segment, because just don't know what's going on. Like I said, my power went out for a few hours yesterday, right when I started streaming. That was a bummer. So again, I lost the footage for Chapter 8. And then today, towards the beginning-ish of the stream, we've only been streaming for about 3 hours, and honestly, our average streams for 3 helps have been anywhere from like 4.5 to 6 hours. But I'm a little bit tired today, in all honesty, and we'll see. But yeah, it's been rough. I'm actually really surprised we still can't even get C rank on Dimitri. Actually, I know all of the Lord's 3 conversations have been segmented after different chapters, but sorry, I'm jumping track. But anyways, like I was saying, I'm a bit of a shorter stream this time. It'll be hopefully either tomorrow or Sunday that we continue on. I think we have at least a couple more streams. We do have exactly 1 week till Xenoblade 3 comes out, but yeah, let's hop into some sport conversations. We have a... Curious about what we have. So Setith C rank. I'm surprised though. At first I really did think that every single character was going to have at least 3 support conversations with Shez. But to be fair, we've had Yuri for a while. I had no idea Yuri only had 2. Balthus only had 2. Like, characters we've had contact with for a while, I just didn't realize had 2. But it looks like everyone, for the most part, except for these ones that solely have a C rank, will likely have at least 2. But let's see what Setith has to say. I'm curious.
Ah, I wanted to speak with you. You have made quite the name for yourself recently.
Oh, thanks.
A true feat for one so young. It is a shame you could not continue your studies at the academy.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
had been graced with the opportunity to cultivate your knowledge and gain more experience alongside your classmates.
I mean, we're doing really well just having been
It is
thrust into
likely you
things.
would
So.
have become influential enough to impact Fodlan's very future. You have grown silent. Is something on your mind?
Yeah, that was a really sad face.
What do you all think of me, honestly?
Oh.
We fought enough battles together. You know I've got this mysterious power. You and Rhea, you're suspicious of me.
Really just calling it out like it is, huh?
Yes, I admit you are right. We have yet to determine if you are truly trustworthy. The power you possess is different from that of a crest. That alone is cause for suspicion, if I may be so blunt.
You know, in this respect, Setith and Ray are kind of similar to Hubert and Edelgard versus any of the other leaders, which is ironic.
Of someone like Tomas.
That doesn't sound very likely.
Yeah.
Although, I guess it's possible I could accidentally hurt someone with it.
Precisely. And furthermore, the victim of said accident could be the Archbishop.
Oh,
or my
well.
sister, Flame.
That's fair. And I mean, those two are always the ones on the forefront of Setith's mind.
I know the Empire often accuses the Church of exploiting the people to fill our coffers. But the fact remains that the Archbishop has always gone to great lengths to maintain peace in
At
Fodlan.
least from her point of view, yes.
She also serves as the spiritual guide for the vast majority of citizens here. We simply cannot risk losing her, even if it is only a 1 in a million
Again,
chance.
there's just so many flags in this path that make me think that maybe Rhea isn't the final boss of this path. Or one of the final bosses. Which again, makes me think maybe we went from Rhea and Golden Wildfire, Rhea plus Talus in Scarlet Blaze, to maybe Azure Gleam is just Talus or something like that.
How much the king values you. However, I would ask that you keep your distance from the Archbishop.
Okay.
And to stay away from Flame as well.
Oh.
This could prove difficult given you two serve in the Kingdom Army together.
That's one of those protected big brother moments that
As a personal request.
isn't meant to be like a slight, I don't think, but
I know this
obviously
may be
just trying to
unpleasant
protect.
for you,
Still comes across a bit harsh, though. Agree to avoid the Archbishop and not Flame. Genuinely, I would promise to stay away if I was in Chess's position. I know that's probably not the answer a lot of people would say, but that's what I would say.
I won't go near the Archbishop, and I'll try my best to steer clear of Flame.
You have my thanks.
It's all right, really. I'm not sure what this power is myself. I mean, it's my body and all, but I really have no idea what it's gonna do next.
In time, I hope you discover the true nature of your power. If there is anything I can do to assist you with the matter, do not
Well,
hesitate to
there we go.
ask.
He's not like...
Will do. Thanks.
I think that could come across as very harsh to a lot of people, but to me it just genuinely seems like Setith is in a position where it makes a lot of sense, I would say, for him to say things like that. And I don't think he's trying to be unnecessarily harsh. I think that he is just genuinely in a position where he has to be like, look, these are my two, like, the two individuals that I have the most concerns for. I want to protect them at all costs. And again, it's one of those, like, I don't think he's just trying to be outright rude. He's just being blunt and honest. Her powers are an X factor. Shez is not, in their mind, someone that can just be outright trusted. But still. Let's see, B rank with Ingrid. I don't remember what Ingrid's C rank was.
Hey, Ingrid. Glad I tracked you down. Have you ever heard of Tobias's mercenaries?
What an odd question.
Tobias,
The name does sound familiar somehow.
Huh. I thought everybody knew about them. Captain Burling must have exaggerated that part. Anyway, they were a big mercenary group my old captain used to be in when she was a kid.
Okay.
Apparently their leader, Tobias, was so loyal to one of the local lords that he was practically an honorary advisor.
Strange. I thought mercenaries kept interactions with their employers strictly
Yeah, but maybe if
business.
someone continually hired him, you know, that could be a little bit different.
Do. But not only did these mercs fight for this lord, they pitched in building the castle town too.
And maybe it was just a genuinely good lord, you know?
They even went so far as to trade their swords and bows for hoes and pitchforks, and
That's
tilled
nice.
the barren land for the farmers of the region. And they opened up shops in town when the lord was going through some financial troubles.
It sounds like they went far beyond what is expected of most mercenaries. Unless...
No, I would imagine that's not the
we all
case.
Oh, not at all. We're fighters through and through. Nobody in their right mind would ask us to drop everything to become farmers or merchants. Basically, both the mercenaries and
That's
the
a good
lords are
example of
doing
what a good
stuff
employer
really
can do, though,
different from how
I
they
suppose.
normally do.
Yes, of course. A bunch of sellswords planting seeds and tending a shop is certainly unheard of.
In the end, this captain grew so close to the noble of the region that people started calling him the Lord's right-hand man. I guess my point is, it doesn't matter what you are. Mercenary.
Oh,
knight,
there you go. Oh, you know what? I think what it was
not tied to any one role just because of the title you
was
hold.
Ingrid's, I'm trying to remember if Ingrid's C rank support conversation was the one where she was kind of explaining that she doesn't have, I think it's the one where she explained she doesn't have quite the correct crest, but she wants to be a knight, but she also feels like she has to have that duty as the next heir to her house. I'm pretty sure that's the one it was. This is why I like to try and save them all and do them all at once, but still.
Farmhands, if that's what the client calls for.
Hmm.
And if that's possible, surely a noble
Yeah,
can
I think
get
that was
anything
it.
they want too.
Just took me a bit to jog my memory.
True enough. That ties into our conversation from
But-
before as well.
It's also duality. If I saved all of the support conversations I was talking about, or even just tried to save them until I had every single one for a single person, I'd literally be sitting there for hours and I would die a little bit inside.
Thank
Just
you.
doing all the support conversations
I'll
at the
give
end.
matter some thought.
So, I don't mind.
Good. I know it won't be easy to find the answer, but I'm here to bounce ideas off if you ever need it.
Okay.
And no matter what, I'm just glad my old captain's story actually helped you. All this
That's
stuff
pretty
about
nice.
Tobias and his mercenaries really caught me off guard the first time I heard it.
You were right about that. But
Interesting.
I cannot shake the feeling that this Tobias person is familiar somehow.
I wonder if the A rank is Ingrid remembering that maybe she actually...
I remember now. I believe the noble in your story may have actually
Oh,
been
maybe
my
maybe she
grandmother.
just explains it here.
Really?
Hmm.
The last head of House Galatea?
Yes. I don't remember very well since I was still so young, but I recall she had a friend by the name Tobias. Though I
Interesting.
find it difficult to believe the old man I knew was once a strapping mercenary captain.
If it really was him, he must have climbed the ranks even further than I realized.
Hmm.
I mean, not just anyone can meet a noble's family like that. Who would have thought this old story would hit so close to home?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Certainly not me.
Well, that makes me wonder what the support rank A actually was. I was literally just thinking, like I was saying, I was like, oh, maybe that's what the A rank is. And then she immediately explained it, and I was like, oh, never mind. And Ned is another one who hopefully we remember as we go, but this is her second of third support conversations.
Hey, what are the words to that song again?
Oh, it's okay, Annette's is the one where she
Flying through the sky.
she was like humming an incomplete song, and Shez taught it to a bunch of the other mercenaries, and I was like, oh, it wasn't finished, and got kind of frustrated. So that's what this is about.
A flying lion? Pretty
pretty sure I know the song you're talking about, but those definitely.
They've already started to forget it.
The one I know is about some horse with a human face running through the green grass.
Such a disturbing picture, honestly.
Now that you mention it, that does sound familiar. What a weird thing to sing about. I wonder who wrote it.
Well, this is kind of what Annette was worried about.
Yeah,
Jeez.
this isn't working.
You can say that again. I finally finished rewriting the lyrics and everything, but they aren't catching on. Not at all.
I've even heard people theorizing that the horse with a human face is some kind of grand metaphor.
I feel like that's the issue with literally everything.
He's a mix of human
Sometimes
wisdom
things just have a simple purpose, but everyone wants to read into it.
The song is saying that the brave warrior who possesses both will win in the end. Or that the horse is some kind of messenger sent by the goddess to punish sinners.
Oh my gosh.
Why did it come to this? I didn't have any of that stuff in mind when I was writing it. I just wanted to sing about a knight rushing through an open field. And then I snuck in a tiny bit of Dusker mythology that Dedu told me about.
Not sure how you got from that to a song about a horse with a human face.
I already told you.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
not what
say.
it is. It's a mythological warrior being from Dusker legend.
Yeah, but if no one else knows about Dusker Legends,
Either way, everyone
you know.
obviously prefers the original version. So, all's well that ends well, right?
Good old
They say
Ches.
once people hear a song, it's out of the composer's hands forever.
Yeah.
The author is dead, all that stuff.
I know you're just saying all this to make me feel better.
I was gonna say, but it's kind of Chez's fault.
Well, yeah,
So,
I can't deny that. Sorry, Annette. But it's true that there's nothing you can really do now. Even if you write totally new lyrics and sing them for the whole army, there's no guarantee they'll get as big as the ones that are already out there.
You have a point, but still.
Listen, Annette, songs have a lot of power. They help people in need, give them courage when they're down on their luck. And if
there you
you
go.
ask me, I think yours could inspire our troops out on the battlefield too.
I don't know.
Hey, what even is a human-faced horse anyway? Is it some kind of monster?
Ain't no monster I've ever heard of. Maybe it's a horrible beast that comes crawling up out of the bowels of the earth.
Oh my gosh.
Don't say stuff like that. You're gonna ruin a perfectly happy song.
Poor Annette. That's one of those things that, like, I mean, I've composed stuff and I've never had that issue just because obviously it was more just for personal use, but still, it's kind of funny. Like, Chez is like, oh, I made a mistake, I gotta try and cheer her up. And then, like, the more and more it goes, it's like, wow, this is really not working. Yeah, let's see, Mercedes is rank A. I think Mercedes was... Ooh,
Today's training was a total mess.
I don't remember.
Feet are killing me.
We need
A
to stay
squire,
in
huh?
peak shape, though. You never know when we might get
Two
tossed into a
squires.
battle.
True. We've got to be ready for anything.
Mercedes? You daydreaming again? Gotta say, you've been acting all kinds of weird lately.
Have I? I feel perfectly fine, I assure you.
Are you sure? Back when we had that tea party, you looked so... I don't know... sad.
I suppose I can't hide anything from you. Things like tea parties with dear friends or seeing the trainees work so hard to improve. It reminds me of how things were before the war.
Oh, okay.
If just for a moment.
That is a little bit sad, yeah.
You mean back at the academy?
Yes. And before that, when I lived with my mother and my little brother.
Oh, okay.
It also reminds me of the time I spent studying with friends at the School of Sorcery in the capital. Things may not have been easy then, but I would give anything to return to those days.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen you get this sentimental about something.
The feeling surprises even me. All my years, I've gone wherever the current of life chose to sweep me. In truth, I used to think nothing ever went precisely
Yeah.
how I wanted it
I
to.
feel like nothing ever does, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches.
Now, I realize just how joyous all those moments really were. And yes, I'm aware it isn't good to dwell so heavily on the past, but I can't seem to help myself.
I don't think it's a bad thing to reminisce, but yeah, to get stuck on the past is not always a good thing.
There's nothing wrong with getting sentimental. Nobody's gonna judge you for reliving one or two good memories every now
Sometimes
and
those good memories are what get you through the day.
Thank
you, truly. You're such a kind person.
Still, you shouldn't keep all your emotions bottled up like that. We might not go back to the peace of the old days anytime soon, but we can still have tea parties. I'm always here to listen if you ever need to get something off your chest, Mercedes.
You mean that? I'm so glad to hear it. In that case, why don't we have one right now?
Sure, I don't mind. But why now?
Because I used the money I'd been saving up to buy some more ingredients. Remember how we were talking about all those different kinds of delicious fruit desserts before?
Okay.
Well, I went ahead and whipped some up.
I can never turn down an invitation like that. Can't wait to see what you came up with.
That's just a wholesome friendship. That's what I'm saying, though, is I feel like a lot of these support conversations are just so nice. And then you get back to the main story, and it's so sad. Let's see to do. This is the last one we have currently for Shez. But it looks like Rodrigue and Demetrius are gated, and we have a few others that are close.
Some trouble out there during training today. All good?
It is not uncommon. Many soldiers do not think highly of me.
Really?
Why's that?
As you know, I am from Dusker.
Oh.
Relations with my home have improved now that His Majesty has taken the throne. But
he's so loyal to Dimitri, too.
Many still hold misgivings about fighting beside someone like me.
I would question the soldiers' distrust. He's our ally now.
I don't see why.
But again, Shez probably wouldn't get it either because Shez is a mercenary.
Shook the entire kingdom to its core.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
And now I am among the royal guard, an honor often reserved for the children of nobles. As I am neither noble nor knight, many are displeased at my position.
Yeah, that kind of stuff always makes people
Yeah,
jealous.
they're probably just jealous.
I've got tons of rumors flying around about me, too. Not that I blame them. I was just a regular merc, plucked off the street and into the officers' academy just
Yeah,
because
you could just happen to bump, but you also saved their lives, you know?
All of it was a lucky break, if you ask me. Kinda naturally would get under people's skin.
Maybe, but
true.
Not your fault either.
We are both here due to happenstance involving His Majesty. It is in the nobility's instinct to resent us for claiming their rightful roles. Missing out due to sheer luck is cruel indeed.
That's fair. I mean, maybe I'm not looking at it from their potential perspective either, but
balancing it all too. One wrong move, and we could be faced with a full-on rebellion. But you know, I think there's an easy way to solve this. We just have to prove we're both capable leaders, that we deserve people's support.
Can't do anything else really except push forward.
It's like I said before, as long as we get results, trust and respect will follow. Even the biggest skeptics will have to throw their weight behind us if we can show we have what it takes.
Something you learned as a mercenary.
Yep. There was this thief we had in our company, real shady guy. Nobody trusted him, but he did his work just as well as anyone else. And before long, everyone had pretty much warmed up to him. After a year or so, even I was joking around with him like he was an old friend.
He won your trust.
Of course, we didn't know for sure he wouldn't just run off with all our stuff one night. But that's why people like you are so valuable. You know, people who keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
I see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk your ear off.
No, I appreciate it. I will try to follow your advice.
Nice. Yeah, the thing is though, genuinely, Shez seems to have a story about like everything. It makes you wonder how long she really did spend as a mercenary. Because she obviously had the time with her adoptive mother before, whatever it was even before that. Her getting started as a mercenary, all that stuff. It's just kind of odd to think, you know, how long she might have been doing other things. Wow, we still have a lot to go. Let's do... I still really wanted to see what Catherine and Shamir had. They only have one, really. This might be the last one we do. Because we very clearly still have quite a few. But we got through all of the ones that Shez had currently. Yeah, let's do this one. And then we'll call it. But the dynamic duo only had one. And it's their A rank though, so...
Never thought we'd get the chance to fight side by side again. It was a total surprise, to be honest. But I'm actually pretty happy with how things shook out. I know. You're still as cold as ice, you know that? Would it kill you to say you're happy to see me or something? Sorry to disappoint. Nah, I actually kind of missed it. Besides, that's just how you are. So, what have you been up to since you left the Knights?
I spent some time in Leicester as a mercenary. Not many people know me there.
Okay.
But you already knew that.
Might have made it harder for her to find work, but at the same time, clean slate, you know?
You mean back at the battle at Aryan Road, right? Actually, the Knights were just throwing my name around to recruit all the mercenaries they could.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea you'd be one of them.
Huh. So it really was just a coincidence. What about you? Still serving as Rhea's sword?
Lady Rhea. I'll let that slide since you're not a Knight of Saros anymore. But to answer your question, yes. No matter who I'm swinging it at, my sword will always belong to her. Honestly, I was surprised to hear you'd slipped away after repaying your debt to Lady Rhea. You didn't even say goodbye. I was furious.
That is kind of sad, actually, but...
I guess sneaking out was the right call, then.
I was running around, shouting that I'd drag you back to Garreg Mach and kill you myself. But then Lady Rhea took me to task. She said it wasn't fair for me to impose the church's values on someone who wasn't from Fodlan.
It makes you wonder, because Shamir clearly isn't Almyran, so what other nations exist around Fodlan? Obviously, it's only like one kind of nation base.
I'll take
but
your
still.
word for it. You know, I fought alongside a lot of people since I left. But you're still the only one I trust to have my back.
So what you're really saying is that you missed me and wish you never left?
That might be a bit optimistic, but sure.
You basically said the same yourself, didn't you? But yes, I did miss you. I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Aw.
For once, I'm glad I was wrong.
Well, to be fair, you did see her again in the other two past Shamir. She just died. So,
Would you look at that?
there's
You
that.
have changed. And I feel the same. Really. I couldn't ask for a better partner than you. But if you disappear on me again, so help me, I really will hunt you down.
Then the next time I go somewhere, I'll just have to drag you with me.
Okay. That was actually really wholesome, even if it was just one. I was wondering how they're going to do this, because I was like, yeah, surely this duo would have, if they have all the way up to A rank, they'll have more than one conversation. But that actually, like I said, I think they did a really good job with support conversations in this game. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to call the stream there. I know it's a bit of a shorter stream compared to most of our 3 Hope streams. I was taking a quick look while we were doing some of those support conversations. I do think that when we were having the connectivity issues earlier, it did fragment the VODs. So I'm probably just going to wipe them all off on Twitch, but I will post the full VOD on YouTube because it was recording. Again, very sorry about that. Like I said, I wish I hadn't lost the Chapter 8 footage. It's just like a couple of unlucky days, honestly. Don't know what's going on. I'll have to give my internet company a call, but like I said, yesterday I just had a random power outage, and I was like, oh, you're kidding. I was glad it happened before I got too far in. I would have been even more sad if I'd done, like, 3-4 chapters. But hopefully we'll be able to get back into this either tomorrow or Sunday. But still enjoying this game. I do want to finish it out, though, before the 29th, so we can just get started on Xenoblade 3. Worst comes to worst, in all honesty, I may just record it in my off time, if I have some, and just do, like, the exact same thing that I'm doing here, but just record it without streaming it, and it'll all still be on the YouTube channel if you're interested. So thanks everyone who stopped by, watched the VOD, and I'll catch you next time.